Fantastic. Oh, thanks for the egg. Jay, what's up? What's up? Hayden, what's going on? How are you? Hope all is well. All right. I assume this is a troll, so we'll start off strong. All right. Hello? A grown individual doing whatever this is. I can't hear this person. I don't know if you guys can, but I don't think they're talking. All right. That's a grown person. So, pretty sick. Hello? All right. Max and Chloe says soft, all caps. But Max and Chloe Shih Tzu won't join because they're soft. So we're just going to keep going through our guest list. All right. That person didn't want to join. Hello? All right. This is going. Wow. Look at Trumpers scared tonight. Quiet as always. Last night, FYP Spill, good to see you. Don't say it. Don't say it. Oh. His name. W's. W's. I was trying to add a little background voice there. Hello. Hello on YouTube. I'm really sorry, by the way, if you're on YouTube. I am incredibly sorry that it is currently members only over on the chat. I genuinely am. But this, if you want to go watch on YouTube and you want a calmer chat experience, you're more than welcome. Carry the flame. There you go, background. My fucking loaded M2 MacBook Pro is sounds like it's gonna blow up because I'm co-streaming on. Like, this is just, dude, I'm really gonna have to go spend $2 fucking grand on a Mac. Like, this is just, all right, whatever. Hello. Sorry, Jack. Hello. Got a little sigh from Michelle. Michelle, you there? Jen, thanks for being here and thanks for being a member. I love you. You're the best. Shout out Jen over on YouTube. That's right. Well, he might have one. Just nobody. MAGA's scared. Double tap the screen for me, everybody. It goes a long way. Maybe share the live with a MAGA friend or family member. Say, come debate. Hello. Dude, what is going on? Hello? Chat, am I like not hearing people or are people not talking? All right, he left. Is this your full-time job? I mean, content is my full-time job, but not live. I mean, I guess technically if I mean, live is content, therefore I guess it's part of my job. But I usually just do it for fun, you know. It's not part of my consistent income stream that makes my rent. Hello? All right. How old am I? I'm 24. This is going, dude. Does any Trump supporters out there still able to defend this guy? Hello? What's up? Yes, how old are you? Okay, fantastic. You like Trump? Okay, so if there's an election tomorrow, would you vote for him? Kamala Harris. Okay, Jesus Christ. Why is that? Hmm. How are things going fiscally for you right now? Yeah, no, no, yeah, it's bad. It's really bad actually. It's horrible. It's $4.70 gas, and a terrible labor market and inflation rising. So I mean, I feel like it's not great. Got it. So a couple things. Number one, yeah. First of all, like Trump's economic policies have obviously been disastrous, and at least some of this economic turmoil is like we have. Thank you for the gift, pudding. We have data, and Courtney, good to see you. We have data, obviously, to support that tariffs have been, have caused inflation, and I think you could correlate that with slowing down the labor market. So, I mean, not knowing Kamala Harris's policies, might want to also do some deeper dives into that because I think they'd be substantially better than what's going on now. As it relates to Iran, yeah, obviously, again, didn't literally ran on the exact opposite of this, and now we're fighting. Like we're basically having an argument of like, are you a Bush Republican? Do you support like regime change war? And that's obviously kind of frustrating. But if you want to talk, like, if your position is that the Trump administration doesn't want to say publicly that the real reason for this is some strategic dominance against China. I just think that the reality of not just, I think a lot, this war would be a great example, but there's other examples of just the ways in which we've alienated our allies alienated our allies, period, has been incredibly negative for our global outlook in terms of being a world leader and competing against China. When we talk about this war, like we didn't, when we like after when we invaded Iraq, like there were Australian soldiers by our side. There were soldiers from a bunch of different NATO countries, and we planned it all out with them. No, none of our allies knew we were doing this, and they all saw it on the news, and that was pretty effing frustrating for them. And I think that if when we hear from inside of those circles in places like the UK, they're looking at the United States, questioning whether we can be an actual reliable long term partner. We've severely damaged a lot of these very. Oh, thank you, YouTube. I appreciate that, Taylor. Thank you so much. Sorry about that, YouTube. God damn it, how do I forget this every time? We've severely damaged ourselves as long term partners with a lot of our closest allies, and I think that that's really negative. So I don't know how that could possibly be beneficial uh, in relation to China, because I also think that a lot of the cuts that the administration has have made. Sorry, give me one second. Um, there we go. A lot of the cuts that the administration has made. There you go. YouTube, you're all better now. I really apologize. Thank you, Taylor. I'm very sorry about that. The administration has made to investments in regions like Africa, for example. Um, though, especially under the Biden-Harris administration, it was talked about a lot that there are developing nations that the United States, it was important to invest resources into those places and economically partner with them, so that they wouldn't economically partner with China and our rivals. And since this administration has taken such a, in some ways, isolationist approach, we've pulled out of all those areas and regions, and China has, walked in, and a lot of these developing nations have decided to partner with China for their long-term, ordeals. So, like again, I don't really see any evidence. If it is true that the administration wants to fight this, to make China weaker, then they're incompetent as fuck, because they're doing other things that are making China significantly stronger, as our country, spirals into political turmoil and corruption at the highest scale.
Well, so on that point, um, I would say look into the military's doctrine in terms of their geopolitical stance. It was actually just updated before the war started in January 2026 of this year, in terms of they are specifically looking to counteract what China is doing. And on the point of like how the war on Iran doing, again, it's not talked about because I believe what goes on in mainstream politics and the mainstream media in general is more just like identity politics, talking
Could
about like,
could it
oh,
could it not be talked about because the administration hasn't talked about this at all? Like, could it not be talked about because Trump has spent the entire time screaming that Iran was 2 weeks away from a nuclear weapon, and also because, as we speak, Donald Trump has now said over 45 times directly into a camera that a deal is either imminent or right around the corner. 45 different times he said that. And so, like, the mainstream media is probably focused on the fact that he keeps talking about how they were 2 weeks away from a nuclear weapon, and how he keeps talking about how we only have 2 to 3 more weeks of this war and we're on month six. So I
no,
just,
right.
like, I think it's, I just want to point out, like, as we blame, quote, mainstream media circles for their conversations, I mean, the president is leading some of those conversations.
No, no, no. I would agree with that. I don't particularly think that him saying, "Oh, we're talking, they're begging for a deal, this and that," is like good or healthy in terms of like changing the sentiment, and then it actually not happening. But the reason that they aren't talking about it per se is I can't give like the direct reasoning for it. But when you're talking about war in Iran, it wouldn't make sense to a lot of people if you're like, well, this war in Iran is actually counteracting actions that China's taken on a broader geopolitical scale. Because I believe that most Americans, and even I fall victim to this most of the time, is not having that deeper level of understanding of like how certain actions that a government takes on the world stage, as opposed to just intercontinental, affect not just America but other countries on a broader scale in order to meet strategic goals in the long term. And so that's not really something that can be just like willfully discussed by a president, or especially a president that I don't even believe has a mental cognitive ability to really
Are,
explain it in a meaningful
are
way.
you referring to Trump there?
Yes, I am.
Wait, so
I can't.
wait. So you're telling me the president of the free world, who is leading this war uh, in Iran, can't correctly articulate why he's doing it because he's not cognitively available to do so? I mean, how the
Well,
how,
I would say the same thing about
wait.
Biden
Okay,
as
well,
well.
I'm
Like
happy.
it's not just exclusive to Trump.
Wait.
Honestly,
I'm happy to talk about that, but I feel like those two things directly contradict each other. I think there's no way you can be under the position that we're, after further research, we're doing this thing in Iran to complete this very strategic goal around China, while simultaneously saying that the person who is Donald Trump leading the efforts and directing the efforts in the war right now?
um,
Because if he is, and you're
okay.
saying he's cognitively can't even explain what the strategy is, I feel like those two things aren't possible at the same time.
Well, so the president is the commander in chief of the armed forces. That is correct, but generally speaking, the president, although he or she does have the final say so in what goes and what doesn't in terms of initiating and going into war, there's there's a deeper level of military expertise and experts that are the ones that are actually doing not just advisement to the president per se, but also taking and developing the actions that would achieve their goals. Like Trump doesn't develop the strategic goals of the military. Trump doesn't, coordinate what military exercises and all this stuff the military is going to do. Trump is mainly really the only one at the very end that says like, okay, let me press this button to make start
Yeah,
have things to
but
start going in motion per se.
if he's in, I mean, right, but
Like I like Trump, Biden, Obama, you know, Clintons, whoever, like they're not the ones actively engaging in the development of
right, but they make
strategy and stuff like that. Right.
they make some pretty effing important decisions that
No,
no
absolutely, absolutely.
that there's conflicting opinions on what to do. So, for example, the United States is 6 months into this war. It's been talked about a lot now that we're dangerously low on several of our defensive weapon capabilities, specifically Patriot missiles and THAAD missiles. We've run through roughly half of both. I think there's some estimates that we've run through 2/3 of our Patriot missiles, which Patriot missiles shoot other missiles out of the sky. When
Right.
this ordeal started, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs told Donald Trump, because we've been low on these missiles for a while, sir, like you cannot afford to start this conflict if it's going to go on for an extended period of time, because it will put us in an incredibly vulnerable position and limit our options if we run out of these missiles. And Donald Trump thought it was going to last 2 to 3 weeks. So he said, I hear you, but we're going to do it anyways. And that proved right now to be a strategic disaster because as we're on month 6 of this war, Donald Trump has no options now. He can't get more aggressive because we're so low on these defensive missile capabilities. And now his generals have told him, like, it's an absolute no-go. If you get more aggressive and this spirals even further out of control, the United States and their allies in the region will be incredibly vulnerable. And I also think Iran knows that he's incredibly narcissistic and corrupt, so they're not going to give him the off-ramp, so he's stuck. So it's decisions like that that, like Donald Trump at the end of the day, if you believe that he's not cognitively really all there. I mean, he made a decision like that based off his incompetence and his narcissism because he thought he could do, this whole thing in 2 to 3 weeks, and it obviously didn't happen.
Yeah, I would just say on the reporting side, in terms of that, knowing what like a general specifically told Trump in these closed doors meetings, I don't take too much ground to it. I think it's sensationalized by the media in terms of like they try to make it seem like, oh, you know, Trump's going against their military advisors. He told it'd only be like a week in this. Like, I don't really hold too much validity in terms of those reports unless it's coming specifically from the head of
So
naval
then,
operations.
where are you getting all your ideas about how
Right. So
how
in
this
terms
works?
of the like I mentioned before, the strategic, you can go. It's public. It's technically public information, even though I don't think they should make it.
We be throwing money in a spiral. Every girl, turn around into my. Thank you for being respectful. I'm sorry I booted you so quickly. Um, if you're MAGA, let me know. Somebody just told me that you were in another live talking about how you were going to vote blue, so I'm just like, all right, sorry, Doug. But I do understand the points you're making, and I'm just like, I'm moving to the next guest. That was kind of dickish, Chad, but we're going fast tonight. I apologize to that last guest. Thank you for being respectful. Hello, Smokey.
Yo, what's up?
Yo, Jay, good to see you. What's up? How old are you?
219704.
Okay. Do you like Trump?
Yep.
Why?
Greatest president to ever exist. Immigration policies.
This is a troll.
Nope, I'm serious. I can give you the codes if you want them. U.S. Code 1325, U.S. Code 111 for obstruction, and I serve police under U.S. Code 1357.
Okay. So let's take a time out. You said he's the greatest president ever. Did I hear that correctly?
Yep.
Okay. So first, I'd like to start with three basic things that I think a lot of people are talking about, which is number one, the economy, because the golden age of America. Number two, no new wars. There's a new war. And then number three, the outrageous levels of corruption that we're seeing, that I think we have not seen ever in modern American history. So you pick which one we start with.
I would like to focus on immigration. Are
Well,
you scared to debate that?
no. I know you would love to focus on immigration because the greatest president of all time, his main two promises of the golden age of America and no new wars fell flat on their fucking faces. So you would love to talk about immigration, and I'm happy to have that conversation, just like I had a long 2-hour conversation about immigration last night. But you're going to have to start by explaining how the greatest president ever, who promised to be an outsider, no new inflation and no new wars, has our inflation going up, is started a new war. Let's start there.
Oh,
I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
that's in Colorado.
What? I can't hear you when you slide out of the app.
Your idol Dean lives at 472 Theresy Lane in Colorado.
We doxing people now on TikTok Live? Is that what we're doing? Is that really what just happened? Is that what we're doing? He said, let me debate immigration. I said, can you first address this this issue in this administration? And then I'm happy to talk about immigration. And then he just immediately dropped this dude's address. Yeah, man, it's bad these days, bro. It's fucking bad these days. It's crazy. All right, if you're a Trump supporter, let me know. Dude said, hell yeah. Hello?
Hey, what's up, brother?
What's up, man? How old are you?
42.
Fantastic. You like Trump?
I do not. I just wanted to say that you and Mockler are my hero. You guys are killing it right now.
What's your name?
I just want to, John.
John, I love you, and I appreciate you so much. That's genuinely so kind. That means a lot to me.
Yeah, I didn't know you're looking for ops. I just want to say I love you guys.
Yo, W's John. I appreciate it, man. I hope you have a good rest of your night.
You too.
Man, what a legend. Could we get some W's for John in the chat? I am looking for MAGA, but thank you, John. That made my day, man. That was very kind. That was super kind. Mockler Media stays growing. What a legend, John. Thank you. Thank you. That's wild. I got a Celsius from Walgreens like 2 days ago, and I walked in and I was checking out, and I was
How you doing, Chris Mulray?
what's up, man? I was on the phone, and this woman checking me out, she was the best. She's so nice. She was like, oh my God, are you on the Adam Mockler show? And I was like, man. And I talked to her for a long time. She was great. Hello.
Was she really great, man?
All right. How old are you?
Me, I'm 22 right now.
Fantastic. Why do you like Trump?
I like Trump because of his deportation, basically.
This has to be a troll. No way. All right. We be throwing money in a spiral. Every time you're growing. If you're a Trump supporter, let me know. Double tap screen, everybody. I appreciate you being here. And if you're over on YouTube, like the live. Yo, Dixie, thanks for the $5 super chat over on YouTube. I actually appreciate you so much. You're literally so kind. And Bilbo, thanks for $2 on the super chat. You're so kind. How do I call Chris to say he's adorable? That's very kind, Bilbo. That's very kind. I appreciate the $2 and the kind words. You guys are too nice to me. Thank you, everybody over on YouTube. If you want a calmer chat experience, the chat is members only over there, and it's just purely because Jen and Jack and Piper's mom, thanks for joining the members over on YouTube. There's literally no pressure. Jen, you're the best. Jack and Piper's mom, you're amazing. You guys are all the best. There's literally no pressure. It's just like the chat on YouTube has been really brutal lately, and there's just like this guy. He's like, really just one guy. And I don't know what to do about it. But there's one guy who makes as many accounts as he can and just gets banned and makes more and just spams. And he just ruins it. So, anyways, wait, who is that? Whoa. I couldn't catch up to you to say hi when I saw you. You walk fast. House Watson? Question mark? No way? Where'd you see me? Laura, what's up? Have you been on Jubilee, Chris? You have not seen me on Jubilee. There is not currently an episode out with me on Jubilee. That's what I'm going to say. 2 weeks or so ago, near Nando's, like the pizza place? Oh, wait, hold up. I forgot. I know what that is. All right? Come on, Chris. Hold up. Is it this one? Hold up, chat. Oh, I know where you saw me. Oh, wait. Is that off like South Michigan, somewhere down there? Like below the river? Yo, how's Watson? I'm sorry I walk so fast, but if you see me again, say I appreciate you. I literally, oh yes, okay. I appreciate you so much. Like genuinely, thank you. You're the best. That's crazy. That's crazy. You're the best. Thank you for supporting me. I appreciate you. And next time I'll try to walk slower. Brooklyn, you're the best. House Watson, you're amazing. I was trying to run with my kid while we were visiting. Oh, that's so nice. That's so fun. Holy shit. Well, I hope you enjoyed Chicago. So there will be an episode with you on Jubilee. Noted. I didn't say that. Marie. Oh, so you will be. Okay. Oh, he's sneaky. I didn't say that. Jubilee. I didn't say that. I said that you have not seen me on an episode of Jubilee yet. That's all. I have heard from people that when you go on Jubilee, you have to sign a non-disclosure agreement. And so revealing potential information about Jubilee would be not good or not technically allowed. I've heard that from other people. You implied it. I did not imply it. I said, someone said, Rio Raya, good to see you. Someone said, have you been on Jubilee? I said, you have not seen me on an episode of Jubilee yet. Which, I don't know. If you're a Trump supporter, let me know. You guys are fun. breathe and blink if there's an episode of you coming up. Hello?
Howdy.
What's up? Howdy?
Howdy. How you doing?
I'm doing. Howdy?
A young, fabulous 50.
Amazing. Do you like Trump?
Mm-hmm. Oh, fuck yeah, I do.
Why is that?
Long game, baby.
So, the no new wars and the golden age of America, like you kind of...
No one cares.
Well, I mean, some people. I mean, a lot of people care. That's why he's the most unpopular.
Not really.
I mean...
No. The people who voted for him, no. We all knew.
Really?
Yep.
I've talked to a lot of people on this.
Make America great again. Isn't that what he said?
Can I speak real quick? And then I'm happy.
Do you know what that means?
Yeah. So happy to let you talk. You know, we just go back and forth, have a conversation, right? I mean, I've had a lot of...
Stop crashing out, though.
Okay. I've had a lot of people on this live individually come up and tell me that they voted for Trump and that they regret it. But obviously, like when we look at, you know...
Well, yeah, you have to select people, but the vast majority still support Trump.
When we look at the polls that won him the election, for example, when he's, I think... I'm trying to think of the economy. I think is a good example of this. You know,
stable.
In October of 2024, he's plus 10 on economy and the inflation, and right now he's underwater over 35 points. So that's obviously that's a almost 40-point difference. When we look at Trump's support again amongst working class individuals, specifically income based, completely like eviscerated, a 30-point flip. So he's underwater on every issue that got him elected. So I mean, there's definitely people. Maggie, hello. There's definitely people that are pretty upset.
Sure, of course.
Okay. So,
but that's not the vast majority.
I mean, okay, sure.
And I said long. And did you hear what I said when I started this live?
Please.
The long game.
Yeah, no. I heard your reasoning. I just was talking about how.
Yeah, well, whatever. The long game. Okay. Do you know what that means?
Please elaborate. I like you because you're not condescending. It's really great.
Not at all, like you. Deflection. Projection. That's all you do, man.
I was being sarcastic.
No, really. Don't say.
So you're.
So would you like to have a conversation or not?
I'd love to. I feel like I've been pretty respectful.
Nope.
Okay, so what does the long game mean to you?
So why do you really think we are in Iran? See your face.
I'm sorry.
You're a very handsome man.
Okay. What was the?
Oh, I know. Oh, did that make you uncomfortable?
You're okay. You're a 50-year-old man. Do you know how to have a conversation?
So?
Do you? Okay.
How old are you?
I'm 24. So, my point is.
You act like that.
I act like I'm 24. That's fine. My brain has a lot of growing to do, but you're 50, which means I would expect you to be.
Not just your brain.
I would expect you to be able to have a conversation more effectively.
Oh, I can.
Okay.
I can.
So then, what is the long game?
You're not able to.
Okay. What is the long game?
So why do you think we're really there in Iran?
And well, before we go to Iran, just because I just had to.
No. Don't deflect. Why do you really think we're in Iran?
Okay. You know what? Fine. I'll engage on this.
Oh, did you win your little Pampers? Is that what happened? Oh.
This is a 50-year-old man, by the way.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
A 50-year-old man.
I think we're.
Yes, absolutely.
Sure.
And you're 24.
Yes. So I think I'll answer your question. I think we're in Iran
Sure.
because
Iran.
Donald Trump's narcissism and his ego led him.
Wrong.
So you said you wanted to have a conversation, right? I don't want to have to use the mute.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
I don't want to have to use the mute button.
I'm acting 24. I'm sorry.
I don't want to have to use the mute button, and I don't want to have to kick you. But we've got to actually try to engage here. So I think we're in Iran because Donald Trump got a little bit high on his own supply after what happened. For
Wrong.
example. Okay. So can I finish? I'm going to give you one more chance. Can I just finish what I'm saying, and then you can go?
I'm sorry. It's so easy when I find bullshit. Okay, sorry. I'll try. Go ahead.
So I think that Donald Trump was under the belief that it would take 2 to 4 weeks to do this, and he got a little bit played by Bibi Netanyahu and others around him, and engaged in a war that he felt like if he could take down the Iranian regime would cement his legacy, and it has not done that. Now you can go.
Okay. You did not answer my question.
Okay. I think I just did. You asked why I thought we were
My
there.
question was, why do you think we're in Iran?
I just told you. I think Donald Trump believes that regime change in Iran would cement his legacy as a great president. And I think that a multitude of factors led him to make that.
You obviously do not understand geopolitics.
Please elaborate.
I'm going to ask you one more time.
Okay. So why don't you tell me? Why don't you educate me and tell me?
I'm going to ask you just one more time. Just one more time.
Are you married?
Why do you
are you
think we're
married?
in Iran?
Are you married?
Why do you think
Divorced.
we're in Iran?
I just told you. I think we're in Iran because Donald Trump got high in his own supply.
Yeah. Okay. Your answer is based on ignorance, not really educating yourself. It was really going on in this conflict. This has nothing to do with Israel. Actually, I'll take that back. It does have something to do with Israel. It doesn't have anything to do with regime change. Nobody cares about Iran people. Nobody cares. Trump doesn't care. Nuclear weapons? Maybe. I'll tell you why we're there.
Please.
We're there because we want to rule the world. That's why we're there. And I know you guys don't like America. You guys hate the United States. You don't want us to take advantage of the power that we have. But that's really why we're there.
So we're in Iran because we want to rule the world.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you
Yes.
And you think that that's a good thing?
Yes.
Okay.
See, here's the problem. I think that some Trump supporters, and definitely you lefties, you little pansies, did not realize "Make America Great Again" meant this.
It meant regime change war.
This.
It meant
It
regime.
meant this. It meant this. This is where it caught a lot of Trump supporters by surprise. That "Make America Great Again" meant this.
I'm glad you were.
It did.
I'm glad you were
It
so
did.
much smarter than
It
I was
really
then,
did.
And you knew before
I
anyone
am.
else.
I really am. A lot smarter. You seem to think this is all Trump because of his ego. You're so wrong. I do think that Trump does have an ego. I agree with you. But this is much bigger than this.
I'm just.
Make America Great Again
I'm just.
has to do with taking over the oil.
I'm just.
Whoever controls the oil controls the world.
Right. And I'm just incompetent.
I know.
And I'm just incompetent when it comes to geopolitics. This guy's 50, by the way, Chad. 50 years old.
You're condescending. I'm 50. You don't want to hear this. I've heard it all before. Don't give a shit.
Can you tell me what country?
Don't give a shit.
Can you tell me what countries border Iran?
Border Iran? Shit. I don't know and I don't care.
Right.
Because that's not the point.
Well, I mean, you started this whole
Do
thing.
you understand the point? Do you understand the point?
My assessment of geopolitics was apparently based in uneducated ignorance, and your assessment of geopolitics is so much better because you clearly know a lot.
Donald Trump, Orange Man bad. That's your worldview.
That's my worldview. Okay.
Yes,
so
it is.
Why don't we try to expand?
Let me ask you one question. Let me ask you a question. Okay. Let me ask you another question.
Can I? No.
I have a question for you. No, I don't care.
You can ask it in a second. Do you believe that in this plan of world domination, that you believe that's the reason we're in Iran? Why would you, if you want to dominate the world, why would you pick Iran? It's a particularly difficult country to overthrow, as you could see on month 6 of a 2 to 3 week, war. So you
perfect. I'm glad you asked me this question. I will answer that question.
No, that wasn't my question. My question was, you think that it's justified that 18 American soldiers have died and thousands of civilians.
Yes.
So what's the next step after this?
That remains to be seen.
Are you sober?
Yes.
Are you okay?
Let me ask you another question.
Are you divorced?
Let me ask you a question.
Divorce.
Let me ask you a question.
It's like consistent on TikTok Live.
Let me ask you a question.
My most immature, rudest, strangest guests are always men between the ages of 40 and 60 whose wives left them, and they're just very angry inside. It happens every single.
How you hate men?
See, that's what I mean. This guy.
Do you hate men?
This guy is acting like how I should act as a 24-year-old.
Do you hate men?
I do not hate men. No.
Do you hate yourself?
No.
I mean, you guys don't seem to know what gender is, but whatever. So let me ask you a question.
Please.
Do you know who King Ghidorah is?
I'm sorry?
Do you know who King Ghidorah is?
Adora?
King Ghidorah.
Ghidorah.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yes, you do.
Don't think so.
Yes, you do. Bro, you're so triggered. Why are you moving like that?
Are you sure you're sober? How many?
Are you sure you can follow up with me? Are you sure?
How many beers?
Do you know where I'm trying to go with this?
No.
No, you don't, because you're a fucking idiot.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
You really think that this war in Iran has anything to do with nuclear weapons?
I don't.
Some of it does. Some of it. Israel, kind of. This has nothing to do with all of that. This is what I want you
what do you do
and your panel to understand. I'm still talking.
Trust me, the panel.
Still talking.
Trust me.
Still talking.
Not a democracy here. Trust me, the panel. The comments are not understanding much from you. It's not great, actually. What do you do for a living besides live alone because your wife divorced you and drink on a Tuesday night, Wednesday night?
Still talking. Thank you. Do you honestly think that's why we're there?
I just told you. I think you're okay. I said no.
Okay, perfect. Why do you really think we're there? Just for the record,
I
repeat it.
Because I think that Donald Trump I could go down this path again. You're going to interrupt me, but it's a lot of Donald Trump got high on his own supply and is a narcissist. Hello?
Well, disagree with you. We're there because make America great again. And unfortunately, for a lot of Trump supporters, a lot of people did not realize it meant this.
Okay. Let's try to go to a different topic and see what else you think. So, what do you think about like inflation in
Why?
the
Why?
economy?
Why should we?
Because
Why?
because you've been on my panel.
Why should we?
Because you've been on my panel for 10 minutes and you've said literally nothing. You've just gone over and over about like how this is
I
make
did.
America great again.
I told you,
Okay, well that's fantastic. What do you think about like the rich?
and you keep blaming Donald Trump because you think Trump supporters are stupid.
Okay, what do you think about the corruption we're seeing?
On the Democrats?
No, from Donald Trump and his family.
Explain.
Sure. I would argue that the corruption inside the executive branch is.
Come on, spit it out, bro.
It's a 50-year-old man, by the way. The corruption inside the executive branch.
You keep saying that.
Yeah.
You keep, and you're triggered. You're so triggered by me.
It's because 50-year-old people are not supposed to act like they're 17. You're supposed to be able to have a conversation by this age. So it's embarrassing. That's why I keep saying that. The corruption within the executive branch is pretty unprecedented. I think the best.
With people like you.
I think the best example
I don't
is.
like bullshit. I think you're bullshit.
That's great. I think, for example, Donald
You
Trump.
are
Donald Trump's
bullshit.
Donald Trump's net worth.
And you gaslight your people. That's what you do.
Donald Trump's net worth.
I don't tolerate people like you.
That's amazing.
You're full of shit.
Oh, he's crashing out down here. Donald Trump's net worth is gone up 2.2 billion.
You've been crashing now to the very beginning. Look at your face.
I think you're drunk, and you're 50 years old on a Tuesday night drinking because
You keep saying that.
because
You're triggered.
I think your wife.
You're
left.
very triggered.
I think your wife left you.
Oh, really?
Why did
Think
Donald,
again.
Why? Think again. Why did Donald Trump's net worth increase 2.2 billion?
So triggered, bro.
Why did Donald
It's-
Trump? Why did Donald Trump's net worth?
Chad, look at his face. He's triggered.
Why did Donald Trump's net worth increase 2.2 billion dollars?
You tell me. I want to hear from you.
I think there's several reasons for this. Number one, because he has traded more individual stocks than any.
What does that mean?
It means making an individual stock trade. So he's
And what's wrong with that?
well, the fact that if we look at Donald Trump's first term, the total amount of trades he made, both individual stocks and securities, was 86 through 4 years. If we look at Barack Obama, I think the total number of individual stock trades was 0, but securities and stock trades combined, I think it was like 11 or something. Joe Biden, 0.
Isn't Barack Obama the one of global?
Joe Biden, love to have a conversation. I would love to have a conversation with you about this if you can manage to do that. Please. Joe Biden, individual stock trades 0. I think securities and stock trades, it was like 12 or 16. Donald Trump through
This is painful for you.
Donald Trump through the first 3 months of 2026 was averaging.
No one cares, bro.
That guy's 50 years old, by the way, Chad. 50 years old. Just like really, honestly, it's kind of sad. Like, I don't know, probably like actually a half decent dude who just life got fucked up and won't go to therapy. Let me get the exact numbers on this, because this is actually pretty effing striking here. Donald Trump through 2025. I mean, this is. So here's your example. Total stock trades. Donald Trump made 86 in his first term through 4 years. Joe Biden made 13 through his 4 years. Donald Trump in 2025 made 21,000 trades, both individual, mostly individual stocks and securities. 21,000, I think, comes out to like 50 a day or something, if you actually look at when the market's open. And then in the first quarter of 2026, the first 3 months, January, February, March, Donald Trump made more individual stock trades than all of Congress combined from a monetary perspective. So I think in first 3 months of 2025, he was averaging like 50 stock trades a day, and the total was over $750 million, and or $1 billion, excuse me. And all of Congress in 2025 didn't do that much volume. It's pretty fucking unbelievable. And also, the other answer to the corruption piece, besides individual stock trading based on the information he has, is like his family's getting super fucking rich. Most of his money was made off his cryptocurrency that's down 95% year to date because he made, fees off all that using the White House to enrich himself. And then another substantial portion of his wealth is clearly coming from enriching his family. So Don Jr. and Eric Trump have investments in at least 16 companies that currently have federal contracts. Those are defense companies. I think the most recent example of that, someone said, how about Nancy? Like this is the thing, is like Joe Perez is so fucking stupid that he can't open a computer. But like Nancy Pelosi's stock trading doesn't even begin to compare to Donald J. Trump in a year and a half, from both a volume perspective and from the actual amount of trades. Donald Trump in the first 3 months of 2026 out-traded Nancy Pelosi over 11 years. It's not even fucking close. And I'm not here to defend people in Congress who clearly trade off, insider information. I'm just telling you the reality of apples to oranges. If you are way out of your lane. Oh, wow, he knows how to trade, right? Nice. I love how you go from what about Nancy to, oh, great, Donald Trump knows how to trade. Well, Nancy Pelosi knows how to trade. You're being played like a fucking fiddle based on your stupidity. Anyways, but his family has a bunch. His kids are getting super rich with defense contracts. So I think the most recent example would be Kazakhstan. There was a meeting in the St. Regis Hotel with the president of Kazakhstan, Howard Lutnick, and they were on the phone with Donald Trump, and they were coming to an agreement that Kazakhstan was going to allow the United States to come in and mine tungsten. Tungsten's a rare earth mineral. Kazakhstan has a lot of it. And so they had made a verbal agreement, but the administration still needed to come to a actual paper agreement of how we're going to go extract, tungsten from Kazakhstan. And so they decided we're going to give $1.3 billion, our tax money, to a company to take on this endeavor to go mine tungsten. We're going to give them a federal contract to go mine rare earth minerals. $1.3 billion of taxpayer dollars. Who should we give it to? Well, they picked a random small kind of unknown startup in North Carolina to go take on this entire endeavor. That startup in North Carolina has 20 employees. We learned later that 6 days before this deal was made public with this North Carolina company, Don Jr. and Eric Trump and both of Howard Lutnick's kids had finished investing into each of them 20% into this unknown North Carolina company. 6 days before the deal was pen to paper publicly. And then after it was announced that the federal government was giving all this money to this North Carolina company, their evaluation 10x'd. 10x'd. So there's your answer. That's one of 16 companies that Don Jr. and Eric Trump Jr. have invested in, and it just so happens to be that they did it right before the Trump administration were given huge contracts. This hoodie is from Mad Happy. Crazy. And also Howard Lutnick's kids, too. Howard Lutnick was on Epstein's Island. We live in a society. It's crazy. Have I looked into the Clinton Foundation? I don't know what that means. Have I looked into it? What stock are you talking about? I'm talking about a company. If you're a Trump supporter, you can let me know. Rebecca Hernandez, I'm not letting you up here. Come on, dude. Hello. Hello. Dom. Dom, you good, buddy?
That last guess was trouble, Chris.
Trouble indeed, Dom. Trouble indeed. We live in a society. We do live in a society. Yo, Joe Perez, why don't you... Oh, you don't have live access. What a fucking loser. Hello? Yo.
Hey guys.
What's up, man? How are you?
Hey, what's up?
What's up? Do you like Trump?
Yeah, I don't think it's the worst president ever.
What are you doing right now? I think we're driving. Joe Perez says salty. I mean, it's 11:55 p.m. on a Wednesday night, and you're in my TikTok live watching me as a grown man. So, just a hate comment for the last like 5 minutes. Shame. I would never do that. Hello.
Hey, puss. This is what we're gonna do. All right.
Whoa. Logan, where you at right now? Okay. I got hit with the bat. Oh, that's crazy. He said, where you at right now? All right, if you're a Trump supporter, let me know. I'm joking. Sorry, man. No, it was funny. Don't apologize. That was hilarious. That made my night. That was good. First of all, Bren, horns up. Great to see you. They are. No, they're out tonight. It's actually crazy. It is crazy. What happened to the Lakers? What do you mean, what happened to the Lakers? What you mean by that? Chris, where you been? I've been here. What do you mean? I've been focusing a lot on YouTube. Guys, I'm like 9,000 subscribers away from 300K over on YouTube. Isn't that insane? I started that YouTube channel like a year? Not a year ago. Maybe a little. It's been like, I feel like a year ago I like really started. But I was like, all right, I'm gonna put my foot down a year ago. But maybe it was like a year and a half. Got the $100,000 play button, or $100,000 subscriber play button. Pretty sick. Now we work toward the goal. This shit is dusty, bro. Jesus. Bro, I actually am so glad that Data just said what he said. Data said, why is your alt account Timu Harry Sisson? First of all, Data, I love you. Second of all, 2 reasons. Number 1, because it's funny. But number 2, my alt account is broken, okay? And I'm trying to fix it, but I don't think it's fixable. I think I might have to start a new alt account. Now, maybe if people go right now to my alt account, which is, I think, labeled Timu Harry. You know what? This is what we're going to do, chat. We're going to let up another Trump supporter. We're going to let up another. Shane, are you a Trump supporter? We're going to let up a Trump supporter. But do me a favor, okay? My alt account has been... Okay, let me explain. And then we're going to let up a Trump supporter. If you're a Trump supporter, I will shred you in 2 seconds, okay? This is my alt... Wait, I'm going to turn off my notifications, bro. I don't need to expose nobody for text me. All right. So this is my alt account. It's Timu Harry Sisson, okay? And you can't really see that, but it says up at the top, it says account not recommended. And that's because it says that I'm impersonating somebody. It thinks I'm impersonating myself. So I was like, nah, I'm me though. This is just my alt account. And then they were like, yeah, we fixed it. But they didn't fix it. So now it just still has this warning and it says my account isn't being pushed out to anybody. And then I click it and I try to appeal it and it just blank, nothing happens. My last video has 359 views on this alt. It stayed at like 9 views for a day. And I reposted it on my main account too. Even the shittiest video reposted on my main account, like I'm not expecting, my views have been shitty lately, especially on short form. Not Instagram. I'll have a video on fucking Instagram to 200K and then 5K on TikTok. All right. But I'm not expecting 10K views even. But if I repost a video from my main, like it's doing at least 2,000 views. So listen, you're going to help me out real quick. I'm going to post an alt video right now and you're going to go search my alt account, which is Timu Harry Sisson, and you're gonna hit like and you're gonna follow it, and then we're gonna let up a Trump supporter. What should I say in my video? What should I say, chat? I'll do like a little. Watch this. If you're a Trump supporter, let me know. How old am I? I'm 24. All right. Bro, that song is crazy. I Oh, dude, I'm gonna get copyright striked on YouTube. Hold up. All right, dude. Just don't. Timu Harry Sisson. Here we go. I'm live right now debating Trump supporters. This is my alt account. All right, there you go. I'm gonna post that. This is just honestly a test. We're gonna just get this account pumping again, folks. I'm live right now debating Trump supporters. This is my alt account. All right, there we go. Thanks for coming to my TED. Whoops. My TED Talk. Post. All right. Go to Timu Harry Sisson and click like on that video for me. I love you. All right. Let's run this. 300K bound. You're amazing. We all know it. Yo, Dark Sunray. Thanks so much for the $2 over on YouTube Super Chat. 300K on YouTube incoming. I hope so. Dark Sunray. You're incredibly kind. I love you. You're literally the best. You're amazing. It's Timu Harry Sisson. Of course, Dark Sunray. Thanks for being here. All right. If you're a Trump supporter, let me know. Ah, Metal. Good to see you. Great to see you. Hello.
Hey, Chris.
What's up? What you doing right now? Oh, it's John.
Yeah, I'm not driving, man.
What are you doing? You like in a tornado or something?
I'm parked.
You're what?
I'm parked.
What does that mean?
I'm in my car, but I'm not driving.
Oh, you're parked. Are you?
I'm parked. Yeah.
Where are you from?
New York.
What time is it there?
101.
All right. Why do you like Trump?
Yeah, I think he's not the worst president ever.
Why is that?
I think that he doesn't need this. He's doing it because he loves America.
Okay.
He doesn't need. He doesn't need to be president. And risk everything, risk his life and everything.
Okay. I mean, that doesn't make any real logical sense to me, but okay. I think he's obsessed with power. So, and he wants to be cemented with his legacy as like the greatest ever. So, I mean, he definitely wants that.
I don't think it's worth risking his life, though.
I mean, okay.
Like the presidency comes with risk of assassination, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think objectively, him just being like a well-known public figure is probably riskier. So I don't think that's particularly at the front of his mind.
Really? Like you think being a public figure has more risk than being president?
I mean, I'm just saying you get a lot of security when you're president. I don't think that like there's some massive. It's not like you're fucking in the military, okay? Like he's walking around some pretty crazy Secret Service, and I get that some terrible things have happened before, but I think all said, it's been a while since something very serious has happened to a president, and the Secret Service is pretty effing tight these days. So I think it's one of the safest places you could be, at least right now.
I think differently because of the like 3S.
If you're a Trump supporter, let me know. Rebecca Hernandez, I told you you're not coming in here. I'm actually just gonna start. We're gonna start taking punches at people because normally I don't say anything about crazy people on the internet. But like, dog, you literally tagged me and/or Harry in a video. You tagged me in a video twice a day, every single day for weeks, and they were some very, very, very strange, weird videos. And it was like weird and not cool. And you did that for months on end. So just like, you're not going to come up and talk to me. Hello? Hello? Sam Walters. Sam? Sam? All right. Hello.
What's going on?
What's up? How old are you?
36.
Okay. Why do you like Trump?
I don't like him.
Oh, well, that's good. Dubs. Dubs for not liking Trump. Really, Mike? Really? It's good to see you. Good to see you, Mike. Hello. Hello. All right, dude. Doing dishes. I mean, what is going on today? If you're a Trump supporter, let me know. Hello.
Hello.
David, are you a Trump supporter? David.
Supporter.
What?
I am a fucking Trump supporter.
Sorry, you were cutting out there. You said you are a Trump supporter. I think.
Hello, can you hear me better? Can you hear me?
I think your mic's a little. I think you signed up for that MAGA mobile service.
Oh, yes, I did.
Oh, there he is. So, David, you said you did vote for Trump?
Yes, sir.
And you like Trump?
Yes, sir.
Why is that?
Because he's just a good president. And no, Emma, I'm not speaking on the fucking Xbox mic. Chris, do you have an anxiety then?
I do not have an anxiety pen.
Then what do you go off camera for?
I don't go off camera.
I just seen you go off camera.
When? I mean, I type on my laptop.
Prove it. Turn the camera around. Show the desk.
Nope, my camera's on a tripod. I can't really turn it around.
Give us a room tour. Show us the anxiety pens.
No thanks.
Oh, yeah, because you don't want to, because you know you have one.
I quit
like
that.
Dean Withers.
I quit that a long time ago.
Oh, but Dean Withers has one still, but you don't.
I don't know how old you actually are, but like again, like how are you a grown ass man doing this right now?
Oh, I don't know. You tell me.
All right, Jesus Christ. Love me like you do. Yo, thanks everybody over on YouTube. The YouTube chat's pretty effing calm. You guys are the best. You are a brave young man. I hate to see these silly calls. Yo, Dick, thank you so much for the kind words over on YouTube. I actually appreciate you so much. You guys are the best. Dark Sunray, good to see you over there. Never Wise, good to see you. You guys are all the best. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. How old are you?
18.
What year were you born?
2008.
Okay. Why'd you vote for Trump?
I didn't.
Well, yeah, you were too young. Why do you like Trump?
I think he has good immigration policies.
Yo, Cam, in the chat, I love you and I appreciate you. You're genuinely you're the best. He has good immigration policies. What's ticking?
Yes.
What's ticking in the background?
That's my phantoms. I apologize.
It's all right. What he has good immigration policy. What about, real quick, before we talk about immigration, the economy and the war and stuff?
Hey, wait. Can I also say, or do you support the Second Amendment?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think everybody supports the Second Amendment. I think there should be more restrictions on the Second Amendment.
I would really like to debate you specifically on that, too.
Okay. What about it?
Why do you think? What kind of?
Yeah, I'm gonna be super honest. I actually thought I was gonna like start freaking out with the bro. Hold on a second. Vision in the chat. That is a wild reference. That is an OG reference. Someone said Ron Weasley. That is a crazy OG reference. That was sick. That was very good. Nicely done. Nicely done. Yeah, I'm sorry. That guy was very respectful, and you're very respectful. You are, but that ticking, I'm Dumbledore, like Noodle knows it. We live in a society. I live in a society. Oh, you guys know it. Ren knows it. Noodle. Hello.
Hello.
Okay. XB, if you can turn off the clicking for your light back up, I apologize. Hi. How old are you?
I'm 18.
What year were you born?
2000 and... We are Chris Murray.
We stand for the flag.
By the way...
Oh, I'm sorry. I kicked you before. But all right. All right, nice. All right, Second Amendment, go. There should be more restrictions on the Second Amendment. Or more restrictions on guns, sorry.
And why do you believe that?
Because we have a gun epidemic in the United States.
Right, but what would that greater restrictions do?
Well, two things. Number one, I think it's a better angle. Well, it's first important to identify the problem. And the problem is that, for example, in the United States, if you're aged 1 to 19, you are, at minimum, 9 to 10 times more likely to die from a firearm than anyone else the same age in a similar country to us. That's pretty striking. In some years, like particularly when COVID was rough and the economy was still reeling from COVID, those numbers were closer to 15 times higher. So problem is that we have more guns per capita and a lot of people die from firearms. I think I could articulate broadly several different ideas I have for potential gun regulation pieces of legislation that could be signed into law tomorrow. The better question, though, before I get into the specifics of how that could help, is like, if you were to agree that this is a problem, then like, what is your solution for it? Or is the answer that we don't have a solution and we just think gun regulation won't work? I can't hear you when you're off the app, by the way. I don't think you slid out.
I'm sorry.
That's right.
I think there's no solution. I'll give you my reason why. I'm not the most intelligent when it comes to debates, by the way, so don't cook me.
I appreciate you being here and being respectful.
I think there's no solution because of the amount of guns and in the country that are already here. So adding more restrictions would just take away from legal firearm owners, and the criminals would keep their firearms, and the ones that are trying to do harm would just keep them. And then the civilians, people who are not trying to do harm would end up losing them and then losing their way to defend themselves.
Well, look, I think that, it's important to mention that, like, obviously the United States is unique in this issue, again, comparative to other countries similar to us. Andrea, good to see you. And so I think that I find it hard. I think most people, like, if we were to go around the country and talk to people who have, family members, for example, that have been victims of gun violence, that maybe their kid was lost in a school event or something, like, it'd be pretty hard pressed for those people to say, yeah, the answer is just that there's no solution because the United States, has this 2A thing and we can't figure it out. I think that maybe if I were to just agree with you for a second, that we start implementing more restrictions on firearms, we try to implement buybacks to get certain guns off the street, we try to do all these different things, and maybe there's a period of time. I'm just, again, speaking very hypothetically. I don't think that this is how this would work. But where, let's just say there's an influx of situations where a law-abiding citizen, as you say, doesn't have a firearm, but criminals do. But like, in the attempt to continue to work on the problem, that still has to be like worth it to figure out the gun violence problem. Like, there's still an answer to the things, like that issue in itself if it were to come up. I just think that, like, the gun violence epidemic is so striking here in the States that, like, there has to be some way we can try. And I think even starting with the most basic restrictions most Americans can agree with, but I would argue, like, the Republican Party is bought out on. So, like, 93% of Americans support universal background checks. That hasn't been passed by Congress because, like, Republicans are owned by the NRA and they would never support that passing. So, like, I think you and I could agree on universal background checks. The Biden-Harris
Yeah.
administration started the first ever Office of Gun Violence Prevention in the White House. It was actually headed by Kamala Harris. One of the things they did or worked on was taking federal tax dollars and going around the country and teaching people how to store firearms safely, going to specific communities, because
Right.
some of the most of the gun violence, a lot of the death and accidents we see from firearms, or excuse me, a lot of the death and injury we see from firearms comes from accidents because there's so many guns per capita. So like a kid walks into a kitchen,
Right.
opens a drawer, and there's a firearm. So let's go to these communities that may have a lot of firearms and say, hey, instead of putting it in your bedside drawer, let's teach you how to lock it up. Like that would also, I think, be a form of gun regulation or using federal tax dollars to
Yeah.
teach people. Like those are things that I think we could agree with.
Yeah. So I agree with you on those points. Is there any specific firearms that you, or any specific, that kind of thing that you would say need more restrictions on? Need some more restrictions on?
Sure, and like, again, I'm gonna be kind of broad here for a second, but I know that like the term assault weapon is a pretty broad
Right.
and debated term, and I actually think the answer is that Congress needs to first re-identify what an assault weapon is. I'd have to go back. I don't remember
agree.
off the top of my head what Congress currently defines as an assault weapon, but it's something kind of bizarre and not particularly helpful. They need to redefine what assault weapon is from a legal perspective, and then I think that we need to regulate, generally, broadly speaking, more heavily regulate assault weapons. Things like, I know Trump tried to ban bump stocks in his first term, and
Yes.
this, Supreme Court overruled it. I think large capacity magazines, we've seen evidence that in events of mass casualty events, when the casualties are increased by 20 to 30% with individuals who are using large capacity magazines. I think that we could, there's a multitude of ways, even if we were to say we don't want to restrict, again, broadly speaking, assault weapons, that we can make it just harder to access, maybe waiting periods on those weapons. I know there's countries, this would be harder to do in the United States, psych evals. I think that it's important. I think there's still states where you can buy guns on layaway. We know of a specific event of a 19-year-old who committed a mass atrocity event, who was able to walk when police basically raided his car and his stuff. He had like $8,000 worth of firearms, ammunition, and all this stuff. And the first question was like, how the fuck does a 19-year-old have, or I don't know how old, it was like 18, 19, something like that. How the fuck does an 18-year-old kid have $8,000 for ammunition, body armor, weapons? And they found out that he was basically able to go to a store and like put, $1,500 down and then agree to pay the rest later, like a Klarna buying four. And it's like, okay, probably make a federal regulation that you can't do that when it comes to firearms. So I think there's like a multitude of ways, even if we were to disagree on the specific restrictions around weapons, to still make it more difficult. Because in a scenario like that, lives could have been saved if that kid wasn't able to buy $8,000 worth of weapons for like $500 or whatever it was. I'm speaking very broadly about that specific case because I haven't read about it in a while. I'm just speaking off the cuff.
So assault weapons usually, so a lot of people in Congress I've seen do not understand what, like, have you seen those clips? I seen a clip of a lady saying that you can't use an AR-15 in hunting because it'll blow a hole straight through the deer. I seen her saying that, and clearly she hasn't even shot an AR because it's the size of the actual 223 bullet is the same size as a 22. And then people using fully automatic, there's already, when people make arguments for that, it's already restricted. You have to get stamps and stuff for that kind of stuff. So I think there should be little to no restrictions on firearms except for background checks and whatnot, and maybe psych evaluation, but that's also kind of
Okay. I mean, look, I think that like at the bare minimum, I think that it's the more important question we should be talking about as a society is if you and I were to disagree about the realities of what firearms people needed or what they should have or what the government should be able to restrict. I think that that's okay because we're both generally in support. Like, I don't think there is anyone who believes the Second Amendment shouldn't exist. I mean, I personally don't. I've shot a firearm before. I don't want to own a
Right.
firearm. I have no interest, but sure, it's, if people want to own them, that's fine.
Right.
I think the more important question that I will push people to continue to ask that I don't understand why people don't is like, okay, if more regulation isn't the answer to so many people dying in the United States, what is the answer? And like, at the end of the day, if somebody could come up with a solution that could be voted on, if someone could prove to me without a shadow of a doubt that gun control didn't work tomorrow, fine. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not interested in taking everyone's guns. I'm interested in a solution. And there's only been one group of people in this country who have consistently come with a host of potential solutions to these problems. And I'm not saying they might not work, but we could try them, as opposed to another side who continues to scream and yell in Congress saying, well, that won't work. And it's like, well, why don't you come with a solution instead of screaming at us that our solution won't work?
Would you like to stay on this Second Amendment topic, or would you like to move on?
Well, listen, you've been very respectful. It is 12:21 a.m. for me, so I've got to cycle a couple guests up because I got to go fast here as we get toward the end of the night. But you are welcome back up, and when we have another conversation, we can talk about another issue. How's that sound?
Okay.
All right, man. I appreciate.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate you being here, man. Seriously, be safe.
Yep, you too.
I was a respectful guy. W's in the chat. I tend to agree with you, Ram. Sorry. W's in the chat. W's in the chat. If you're a Trump supporter, let me know. Ken's good to see you. How are you? Hello.
Hey, what up, Chris?
What's up? How are you?
How you doing, man? I do want to give you, I am a conservative, and I do want to give you a big shout out. I don't know why you don't do this more often, man. I never see you on very often.
I don't know, man. It's a good question. I appreciate the shout out. You like Trump?
Yeah, man. But you and Harry needs to do this more often so we can all have conversations. I don't really get on I don't want to bring up your old friends, Dean and Parker, man, but I don't really jump on their lives. Really was supporting you two, but y'all don't get on very often no more.
Yeah, TikTok Live can be a kind of draining place, but also it's always an interesting time. It's a good time, but I think just been focused on other things.
Okay, I understand, sir. I understand. I don't want to hold you up to it and then talk about your personal life or anything like that. I don't want to get you all wrapped up in it. But yeah, why don't you support Trump in 2026 so far? I mean, there has to be some good that he's doing right, or you just think he's doing all bad?
I mean, I think it's been mostly, it's been all bad. It's been all bad. I think that, like, obviously his promises on no new wars have not come to fruition. I obviously think, his promises on the golden age of America and crushing inflation on day one, the economy's been pretty rough. And I think that we've seen the largest expansion of executive authority in modern American history. I think he has been signing executive orders left and right and questioning the judicial branch's authority on saying that they're illegal at times, which I think is really bad. And I think that we've seen some really unprecedented levels of corruption. Donald Trump has been getting so rich while everybody else struggles, and his family's getting very rich off the government. And I think that that's not good.
Do you think it's the attack that the reason Trump is doing what he's doing is because the attacks that happened to him between 2020 and 2024 with the attacks when he was getting sued and stuff like that? Because many people don't understand that when Trump was being sued, he was being sued by the United States, the United States government. So it's like, you think that's why he's doing what he's doing, is like single-handedly trying to attack America and using America as a way of his revenge to enrich himself?
I think that he's just, I guess I hadn't thought about it like that, but I definitely think that he's just, always been interested in, like, not only power and pushing the limits of power, but also in, being, he likes money. So in his pursuit for power, do you believe that that's happening?
I believe so. I think that his attack, when the United States government attacked him and the FBI raided him and stuff like that, I think this is his whole time to just come into office and do what he's doing. Right, he's just collecting money at this time.
And you,
I think it's just
and you're okay,
money.
And you're okay with that?
Oh, good. Oh no, I'm not saying I'm okay with that at
Oh,
all. I ain't saying I'm okay with it at all. I think Trump is failing America in many ways. I might support him, but I don't think that he's not failing America. He's failing America. I just wanted to pick at your brain a little bit.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's no. Oh, that's totally. Wait. So if there was an so you voted for Trump in 24.
Yes.
Would you vote? Would you vote for him again if there was an election held tomorrow?
Absolutely not. I would
Wow.
totally 100% vote for Miss Harris.
Wow. Well, listen,
Yes.
W's on that. W's on that. I do pretty. But listen, to answer a little bit more about your question, yeah, like I don't know if I obsess consistently about what goes through that guy's head, and maybe I mean I think that some of the ways in which he's gone after his political opponents has been like obviously revenge coded, and a lot of those things have you know failed in terms of like securing indictments, but collecting money. I mean, I just think like he figured out that in his second term, surrounded by such loyalists that an expanding executive authority, he could just get so effing rich, and him and his
Yeah.
kids would be able to be rich in a level that no one could stop them.
Yeah, let me ask you this. Do you believe you and Harry could have did something better with the election and stuff like that? Could have got the message out better? Do you believe if you can look back in time, it's something that y'all probably could have done better to help out the political realm? Because Harry was deep in it at one point, and you were too. So do you think y'all could have done something different?
Uh, do I think we could have done something different? Well, look, like I think that there was obviously like failures within the campaign, like. And I'm going to preface everything I'm saying, but I think like Kamala Harris in general, when we look at running in 100 in a campaign in 107 days and making the progress that they made, it was, all things considered, pretty damn impressive. With that being said, there were some key failures and question marks around that. I don't know. I don't know that I've ever been asked that question, but I oddly enough stay up. I stay up at night and think about it a lot because I wish, I don't know. Maybe there's points where I wish for control that I don't have. I wish that there's a reality where if I did more, it would be different. But I'm also, obviously just one person, and then I'm like, maybe I'm just a selfish piece of shit for thinking like I could have made some bigger difference. Regardless, I mean, looking back, no, I think I gave my entire heart and soul to trying to help her win, and I did so with the best
Yeah.
information I had at the time. And I think my only wish, looking back, I try to grow politically. Like I think that a lot of people obviously can be very stuck in their ways, and being young, I think it's good to like grow and try to learn and understand what I could have done better. Obviously, I'm still defensive of Biden. I like Joe Biden. I still think that, especially from a domestic policy standpoint, he'll go down as a pretty damn good president. But looking back, I think it's clear to me that I should have called for him to drop out sooner, and that I probably still wouldn't be in the camp. Like from a timeline perspective, I probably still would have supported him longer than most people, but I realized looking back that I was analyzing that situation incorrectly. And I think I let my own very real, genuine stresses about the election and beating Trump cloud my judgment around the realities of like what people were actually thinking about Biden.
Okay. That's a fair question. I mean, you guys are, I mean, at a point of your ages where, we all learn, I mean, around that age bracket and stuff like that. So yeah. But let me ask you one last thing, sir, before I let you go, because
Thanks
I
for
know
being
a
with
lot
me.
of people, yeah, a lot of people in your chat is like, what's up with all these coping questions? So
Nah,
I'll speed
dude.
it up.
Nah, it's all right. It's all right. I appreciate being here. You're being respectful, man.
All right, all right. Let me ask you this: what do you feel like about the DSA? Do you think like the DSA will be like is trying to take over the Democratic Party in a certain type of way? Because it has been a lot of talks about them lately, and the media has been picking it up
The media,
like fast,
that's a good
and
question.
they're pushing it. And so, what do you say about that?
That's a good question right there. I'll say this, and then if you're a Trump supporter in the chat, let me know. I'll say this, and I don't know. I'm not sure how well my chat will react to this, but that's okay. Yeah, look, like the DSA's goal. I mean, yeah, I think like obviously there's their own like Tea Party-esque revolution in the Democratic Party. I think that obviously like a lot of people understandably are very tired of the quote establishment within the Democratic Party, and I think DSA's goals is running candidates across the aisle that have values that they see as more consistent with the Democratic Party. I tend to be in a boat that most people think is not popular and lame, which is like I'm a pretty big tent person, so I think that we can run Democrats around the country that have a wide-ranging set of views and we can all work together to achieve policy objectives that we want. I think we spend, and I actually saw, funny enough, people also won't like this, but I saw something from Mallory McMorrow the other day, who dropped out of she ran for Senate in Michigan, dropped out. And she was like, we spend a lot of time infighting about how to implement policy when we don't even have the power to implement the policy. Like, let's focus on getting the power to implement the policy, and then we can bitch and bicker about what the answers for that is. So, yeah, I mean, I think that like the Democratic Party is having its own Tea Party moment right now. And oftentimes when I see there's DSA candidates that there's more progressive candidates or DSA candidates, whatever you want to call them, that I've liked. Like I obviously supported and interviewed Abdul Sayed. I really like him. There's more moderate candidates that I've supported. I support a wide kind of range of Democrats. I think that the last thing I'll say is, well, fuck, what was I going to say? People should, I think Democrats themselves should stop like freaking out about it so much. And I think that as somebody who probably, you guys have an echo? Like,
I don't hear anything.
You're good.
You don't have.
I'm gonna you're fine. I'm gonna finish. I'm just gonna mute your mic really quick just as I speak. My bad. Thank you, Brent. I think it might be better now. The last thing I'll say is what was I gonna say? Fuck. DSA, Democratic Party, DSA. Oh, I think that thank you, Brent. I appreciate you so much. I sit in a place where I think that moderate Democrats are too moderate, and a lot of leftists. I'm not a leftist. I think like more leftist Democrats or people on the far left, I don't really jive with, if you will. So I kind of sit in the middle, where I feel like a kind of progressive Democrat who is watching two sides that I don't love sometimes. And so with that, I think that I think that moderate Democrats could do a way better job of being fucking effective and understanding why progressive candidates and leftist candidates are succeeding. I see candidates who are self-described socialists. I would not describe myself as a socialist, who a lot of moderate Democrats get very upset by. And I go, well, you should ask the question, why is, I have moderate friends who argue with me that, oh my God, this is crazy. Socialism is so popular, and Hassan Piker. And I go, instead of bitching and moaning about something that you disagree with, you should probably take 2 seconds to ask why this has become so popular. And it's become so popular because, the system that we currently have in place is failing so many people. So if your worldview is that you hate socialism, you hate all these things, and you want to, you should go solve capitalism. go solve fucking capitalism, and then there won't be this massive rise of people who love socialism. So I think moderate Democrats could do a better job being fucking effective and understanding why leftist candidates are succeeding. I think some leftist candidates could do a better job of, being fucking not annoying and not condescending and talking down to people. That's my answer. But I think people should be like me. Everyone should be like me. I'm super humble. And you should support a wide range of Democrats around the country and not give so much of a fuck about the individual policy differences. Support moderates, support progressives, support leftists, support who you like, build a coalition of a lot of people. That's my answer.
Yeah, then I totally agree with you. You're very down to earth and stuff like that. And I will let you go and stuff like that. I do want to say though that, election is near again in 2 more years. And I really do hope that, your party, you, Harry, Dean Parker, all can come together and become the Avengers y'all used to be. I really do. Y'all was a good Avengers, man. And hopefully around that time period, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Y'all be great.
Man, you're so nice, man. I appreciate you.
Well, I'm 44, so I'm wise.
No, wise guy, nice guy. I greatly appreciate it. You never know. The squad can get back together. I appreciate you, man. Seriously.
All right, sir.
All right, man. Be safe. Yo, W's that guy. That guy was super nice. Could the Avengers get back together? Sid, good to see you. The Avengers could get back together. I see a future where it happens. I do. We're all on talking terms. Like, we talk. I mean, Harry's my best friend, so I talk to Harry every day. But Dean and Parker and us are on talking terms now. I mean, I don't think many people saw it, and that's fine. It's not the point. But, I mean, they both publicly, in some level, apologized for the way that they handled the Harry ordeal. I know Dean said it on live at one point. We talked about it. And obviously, like, you know, Harry, we all had a long conversation about it on the phone at one point. That spanned, you know, an hour or two. Because there's definitely been some drama and hurt feelings around that before. But, you know, I think we're all in a better place, and time can heal. That's right. That's right. So you never know. You never know what happens in the future. We'll see. Thanks, Brent. Appreciate you. You guys are very kind. Miss you all together. I miss the apologies. Courtney, thanks for being here and being supportive always. You're too kind. That's true, Ken. It's true. Pulls on the heartstrings, right? Huckleberry Jones, I think my work ethic is worse. Actually, I don't know that my work ethic is worse. I think that I face a different set of challenges in my own life that make. Harry is a monster when it comes. I mean, Harry posts all day, all night, nonstop. Dean and Parker obviously live all day. I think comparison is the thief of joy, as they say. And I talk, the question you just asked you said, why have you not blown up like the others? I find you the best, which is very kind. But comparison is the thief of joy, and this drives me a little nuts in my own personal life and like my mental health. Why I can't this is my full-time job, not TikTok Live, but just like content and politics, which I'm super, super lucky for, but it drives me a little nuts that I seem to not be able to put out as much volume or content as everyone else. And the honest truth of that, I want to tell myself that it's because I'm lesser than, I'm not as good as, and I don't have as good of work ethic. My therapist would not be happy if I said that. The reality is that I think that I deal with a certain set of issues in my own head that create a lot of challenges for my ability to get things done on a consistent basis. So like, I've talked a lot about like my mental health journey in here, but I have ADHD and OCD, and my ADHD ruins my goddamn effing life. And it's so bad, and it has been a struggle for a really long time. And I've tried like everything under the sun to medicate it. I actually this week started Vyvanse, which is like my last hope. And it's actually been all right. It's been pretty good. Yo, John B., great to see you. Holy shit. Long time no see. Good to see you. It's been better than the rest, and I've seen some positives, but yeah, I don't know. I really feel terribly shitty, and it doesn't feel right saying that the answer is that, like, from a mental health perspective, I've dealt with a different set of challenges than the others, but that is probably just, like, you know, what it is, bro. Or maybe I'm a piece of shit and I don't work as hard, I don't know. Or maybe my time is coming eventually, just not now. Or maybe none of the above. And we live in a society. Dear Trump supporter, let me know. You guys are all so kind in the comments. Yo, bro, Damon has literally been in here since I was at like 30,000 followers, excuse me. Damon, I love you. Jack Barrett's mom, you're the best. You guys are so kind. Who is that right there?
Hello.
Koifo? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hello?
Hello, great to see you. And so I support Trump because of his immigration policies, and I wanted to debate you on it.
Yo, Rebecca, you're the best. Thanks for being here. Real quick before we do that, economy, Iran war. Any thoughts?
I'm not paying attention to that. I just
Yeah,
pay
I know,
attention
dude.
to
No Trump supporters paying attention to it because you're paying fucking $4.70 for gas. You know what it is, Chad? I need to stop asking people that because the reality is there will be no time. This is acceptance. This is acceptance 101. There will be no time, Chris, where somebody comes up in my live and says, you guys were right. It won't exist. It will not happen. I mean, it has happened with people, but people who still support Trump and want to debate Trump, there will never be a time where one of them comes up and says, holy fucking shit, I was so wrong about the tariffs. I was so wrong about the no new wars. They won't do it. And I just need to accept that. I need to stop being, this administration pisses me off enough to be a little bit vengeful, you know? I dream about the day that somebody will look at us here. Not me, not just me. There's a lot of people who knew that this was going to happen and go, holy fucking shit, I was an idiot. And I can just be like, yeah, you're an idiot. Anyways, let's debate about immigration. What about?
Let me ask you this:
Yeah.
Do you support legal immigration and open borders or open borders?
There's not a single serious human being on the planet that supports open borders. Just put that out. We're starting off on a bad standpoint. No, I don't support open borders.
Okay. Do you support legal immigration?
Legal
immigration.
I support legal immigration. Yes.
Right. So, what's your stance on immigration right now? The way it's being done.
Yeah, I think if Donald Trump actually cared about immigration and the issues that have come from it, number one, he would pass legislation to overhaul our immigration system that's been broken for decades. He won't do that. He slapped an executive order on it and closed the border, which I think has its own set of issues because he doesn't care about this issue at all. It's purely political for him. That's number one. Number two, obviously, ICE and the way that they have gone about their events in the United States, I think has been really bad from a moral perspective. I think, walking into inner America, specifically blue states, because it's political, like Chicago and Minnesota, and ripping apart families that have been here for a long time for, photo ops is pretty effing bad. And I think that even if Donald Trump were to partake in a mass deportation effort, I think it's bad for a multitude of reasons, including part moral and also economically. And the correct answer is that, I don't support, if you've been in the United States for, decades and you haven't committed a crime, I don't think you should be deported.
Right. But how do you know if these people committed a crime or not? There's these people living in Chicago. They can get deported. How would you know anything about their background if they deserve to be deported or not?
I meant if they committed a crime in the United States.
Right. So how would you know that these people are legal how would you know that these people are supposed to be here if they snuck into the country in the first place?
How would I know if they don't have legal?
Okay, I'll set it like this. These people snuck into the country and now they're living in the United States for free without any documentation, without any citizenship. Okay. How is that fair?
How is that fair?
How is that legal at all?
It's not legal.
Right, so they should be deported.
Well, I think the issue's far more complicated than that. I mean,
how is it far more complicated?
Well,
if you're living in this country with no documentation, no anything at all, you should be deported.
Okay, number one, because I just told you, I think from a moral perspective, there are people who have been here for 10 or 20 years who have families, who are part of our communities, who have not committed crimes, who are adding to our communities, are helping objectively our deficits and debts, for example, and are good people and are American. So I don't think that just because they don't have a piece of paper, I just don't think that we should deport them from a moral perspective. And I think that also economically, besides my morality, that it would be if we deported everybody who is here undocumented right now, the U.S. economy would collapse because they've been key for our labor force. That's just a fact over feeling. It's not really, it just is. And so in a perfect world, do I think that people should be able to be here undocumented forever and we should just quote, let people in? No, of course not. I mean, in a perfect world, I think that the answer is the U.S. government should say, you have 1 year or 1.5 years or 2 years if you are undocumented to show up to wherever, give us your information, and we'll give you a path to citizenship. You will not be deported. Maybe in a compromising situation, Republicans may say, well, we want them to pay back taxes or pay a penalty. I'd say, fine, okay, and they can have a path to citizenship. If you don't do that within the next year or year and a half or 2 years, you're at risk of deportation. And if there's people who haven't done that within 2 years, they'll be deported. That would be fine with me. That cannot happen.
Right, but didn't you just say that there's people that are living 10, 20 years and they don't deserve to be deported?
Correct.
You did just say that, right? So
I-
what's your real stance on this? Because you went from 10 to 20 year. You went from 10 to 20 to
Right.
2.
I'm sorry. We were talking about two completely different things. I
Right.
said in a hypothetical situation, you were asking me about how, like, I was trying to give some more context about solving the issue. So I was saying in a hypothetical situation, the U.S. government could say, we'll give these people a path citizenship. But that doesn't exist right now. And also, that won't exist for another 50 years because of the actions Donald Trump has taken. There will be no community on the face of the planet that's undocumented that would trust the U.S. government to give them their information and not be deported. So I think Trump actually hindered his own ability to, well, Trump doesn't care about this issue. People voting for Trump hindered their ability to fix this problem reasonably in the next several decades. But yeah, I just don't think we should deport people who haven't committed crimes.
You know what? That's fair enough. It's a fair opinion. I respect your opinion. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Unless you want to say something else, go ahead.
I was just going to say lastly, and thank you for being here. I also think, like, I understand the concept when people say, like, they've committed a crime, therefore they will face the penalties of that crime. But just like any other crime in the United States, like, we have broad discretion to charge and carry out the punishment of said crime. So if we understand it to be, even if I were to get rid of morals, if we understand it to not be applicable and make sense to mass deport people in the United States because our labor force is shrinking and because they're a part of our communities and XYZ, like, you know, just because they've broken a law, I think we can have broad, just like any other crime. Like, people jaywalk every day. I jaywalk all the time. And I'm jaywalking in front of police officers, and they don't do anything. It's because police officers have broad discretion on what they want to do and not what they want to do and what they don't want to do as it relates to enforcing laws.
Right. One more thing. If immigration laws exist, which are the ones that Donald Trump put in place, they should actually be enforced, don't you think? Because if they're not being enforced, why would they even exist in the first place?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of two things. Number one, there's a lot of laws that exist that aren't enforced. But number two, like, there's never been a time where these laws aren't being enforced. Like, and Donald Trump didn't put in any, like, new immigration law that's, you know, hyper specific. Biden was enforcing the laws on the books equally as much as Donald Trump was in his first term. I think the issue is less about enforcing the law. I don't think there was, I've not had anybody provide me evidence that suggests that the Biden administration, for example, wasn't enforcing the law when it comes to, like, deporting people, for example. I think the issue becomes that our immigration system has been broken for a long time. People overstay their visas. Our judicial system is overwhelmed, etc. And the border at the time didn't have enough resources.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, my good sir.
Yeah. Thanks for being here, Jason. Appreciate it, man. Have a good night. Oh, look at the number Obama deported. Yeah, Obama deported a lot of people. He did it differently. Nuance. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how old are you?
I am 26, about to be 27.
Amazing. What can I do for you?
Well, I wanted to talk about abortion.
Okay.
Yeah. I listened to Harry's, I listened to Parker's, I listened to Dean, all their lives, and they all speak how human life is, like, defined. And to me, it's when biologically an egg and sperm meets, and I'm just confused on how you guys define that.
Really quickly, before I answer that question, do you know what the maternal mortality rate is in the United States?
No.
Okay. Do you know, like, what that means?
Yeah. No, I understand. Like, my wife, I'm married, and she had a miscarriage, and it was really scary. She had to get a surgery done where it was really scary, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, and but at the end of the day, like, how can you say one life is worth more than another?
Sure. So first of all, I'm very sorry that happened to you and your wife, genuinely. I want to say briefly that I think that it's important. I wish more people would come at this from a perspective of, like, how laws are actually implemented and how that affects health outcomes. So, the U.S. has the highest maternal mortality rate in the developed world. I think we rank like 55th or something, according to the CDC. And I think that, especially in red states right now, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Tennessee, et cetera, the maternal mortality rate is exploding because the way that their abortion laws have been implemented have gotten a lot of people killed, because doctors are getting up and they're leaving those states. They have a lack of access to healthcare. Again, and I'm not even relating that to abortion for a moment. I'm just saying that doctors have looked at some of these laws, for example, and said these laws are vague, confusing, hard to understand. We're under a tremendous amount of pressure. We're risking our business. If we get sued for this, we're leaving. We're going to go practice in a different state. So women are having significantly worse health outcomes in these states because of how the law is implemented. So I just want to point out broadly that it is possible to believe, it's possible, and I wish more people would hold this stance, to say I am pro-life. I will do everything in my power. You could go advocate for it all day in your private capacity. That's fine. To tell people that I don't think that abortion should happen, while also believing that the government shouldn't regulate it because of how government and how the realities of government interfering with private businesses. I think we've already seen plenty of examples. I think it's possible to say I have seen a lot of death and sad outcomes and bad health outcomes in what's supposed to be the greatest country on earth for women, because when government starts to interfere in healthcare, it makes it very difficult for healthcare to act in an appropriate way. So I don't think government should interfere. I just think that it's a very reasonable possible stance to take.
I think, yeah, government interference is really hard, and as far as Trump goes, that's why I voted for him. Right? That was a major subject affecting me, right? As well as prices, as well as a lot of other things, but that was a major factor. And the biggest thing for me is like, okay, well, you know, this is a baby, right? Whether it's in the womb, whether it's out of the womb, like why is it considered a double homicide if a pregnant woman is murdered? Like it's because there is a baby that is a human. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that on that like particular note, it more has to do with like who's making the bodily autonomy around like making that decision. So I mean, if somebody was unalived, for example, who was pregnant, like they didn't make the choice, their autonomy was taken away from them. Therefore,
Well, but like, I mean, when you talk about that, like 1% of people are having babies that are raped. And I understand like rape victims are a different story, right? I agree with that. And I'm also a Christian, and I firmly believe all babies should be born. And I understand that's my religion. And I understand that in American context, let's talk about it for percentages. It's about 1% that are raped that are trying to, get abortions. And I understand that's a different circumstance. You know what I mean?
Wait. I'm sorry. Just to clarify. I'm sorry. Do you believe that there should be exceptions for victims of certain crimes?
I think in certain circumstances, no. I mean, no, but I understand in America that people would believe that.
Why do you add that at the end?
Because as a Christian, I can't believe any child should be killed.
That's pretty brutal. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people who are going to say like.
I mean, pretty brutal. Have you seen like rape victim child? Like there was a guy preaching who said, "Hey, my circumstance does not define who I am as a rape baby. Like it doesn't define them. And it shouldn't define anyone. When you're born, when you were conceived, it shouldn't define you as a person." Who you are because you were a victim of a crime.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't define the pastor who was born. It may define the person who went through such a tragedy for the rest of their existence. It may define the, seventh grader who was playing in her
But I have
The
siblings. I have
the set.
siblings. I have a wife.
Can
I have
can I
many
fin-
people that are adopted
can I finish
that
real quick?
are that have gone through life that are amazing people from circumstances that were less than
I'm
ours.
sure
You know what I
I'm
mean?
sure they could. I'm sure that's possible. But the actual people who are victims of said crime, like you know, the Time article about the girl who's going into 7th grade who's playing in her front yard while her mom was doing dishes in the kitchen, who was assaulted in her front yard, and
But
then
you're talking about like very niche subjects.
I understand, but this is someone's life. If you care about life, I just want to
100%.
I just
Yeah,
then I just
100%.
then this should be a very simple conversation for you, which is you know, a 7th grader who's assaulted in her own front yard, and then because of the laws in Oklahoma, I think it was Oklahoma, I might have been Arkansas. I made several videos about this before. She couldn't, nothing could be done, partly because the child was not, it was very hard for her to explain what happened. And she dropped out of the 7th grade midway through the year to have the child, and didn't want to be in school, so because other people would find it weird and strange. So like the 7th grader, and like the pure like trauma that she doesn't even quite grasp that she's articulating, plus her entire family, the mother who works like you know, a full-time, I think 2 full-time jobs,
Sure.
and like their life being turned upside down, and a 7th grader's child life being completely and totally you know, altered and nuked forever. Is that's not important. It's just important what comes of that
No,
child.
it's very much important.
So you don't think that's
my sister's adopted. Like,
but this isn't
you have other options. Like,
no, you have
acting like there's no other options.
No.
Is ludicrous. Like, there's other options for life.
It's not a question about options. It's a question about, do you fundamentally believe that this 13-year-old child and her family shouldn't be able to, I don't know, make a decision that, hey,
make a decision to kill another life? Like, that's asking me, hey, can I kill another person because, hey, they're making my life inconvenient? Hey, they're making my life harder?
Inconvenient?
Like, no, like, you don't have that decision.
I mean, actually, they literally do, because they're women and they the bodily autonomy. And to address your first point, life absolutely starts at conception, but valuable life does not start at conception. That's absurd.
So
and
what makes valuable life?
I think that there's multiple different arguments for this, but the best one, or well, 2 of the best ones would be, number 1 would be sentience, just like the ability to have a unique human experience and feel pain and all these different things that, you know, you probably can't do before 23 or 24 or whatever.
Okay, well,
I mean, and number 2,
Sorry.
and number 2, like any level of viability, like being able to survive outside of the womb. Both those things being said, like I tend to just agree with like science and the professionals on this, who have, you know, studied this for a long time. And I also give a large portion of the fact that, like, being from Georgia, half our counties don't have OBGYNs. Women are driving well over an hour to see a primary care doctor. And when the maternal mortality rate is so high because women who are giving birth, who want to have children, are dying because of a lack of access to healthcare, are dying because they're showing up to the hospital with an issue and they're saying, I need help. And the hospitals are saying, well, we should probably do something about this, but if we do, there's a risk to our business. And we don't want to risk our business. So tell her to go home and come back when she's septic, come back when she's almost dead, because that way we can prove without a shadow of a doubt that her life was at risk and we don't risk our business. Hospitals, a lot of them are for-profit businesses. So when a woman shows up and needs help, they have a set of lawyers in a room that are going to read the shitty-ass laws that were written by Georgia state legislators who are making $8,000 a year, who their side business is like owning a landscaping company. They just wrote the most confusing, vague, fucking bullshit-ass law saying women can't get an abortion after 6 weeks, blah, blah, blah. The law is hard to interpret. It's confusing because these fuckers aren't doctors, right? And so then a group of lawyers in a hospital room is going, there's a lot of risk here for us, both from a legal perspective, from criminal charges, from civil charges. If you help this woman provide an abortion and someone sees it as abortion, we get criminally charged or we get sued, that's going to cost us this much money. So tell her to go home. And when she comes back and she's almost dead, that's much less of a risk, and then we can help her. And that has happened so many times over and over and over and over and over and over again. I know multiple stories just off the top of my goddamn head of this happening. It is fucking psychotic. It is psychotic behavior.
Sure, and I get that. And first of all, I appreciate how open you are to discussion, and you don't cuss at people, and I really appreciate that. I just want to let you know about that. As far as my take, I, I get where you're coming from, but to me, at the end of the day, we're talking about human life, and I don't think we'll agree on this. And I'll drop off the call after this, but you know, once you're conceived, I feel like that's a beautiful thing, and it's a lot of people deal with problems with having children, have a lot of problems with having kids, and I have a sister that is adopted. I have a wife that was adopted. I have a mother in law that was adopted. And I think a lot of beautiful things come from life. And I don't think life is a mistake. And I don't think it's an inconvenience. There's other avenues you can go down to solve that. And if you are just inconvenienced by it, you shouldn't be having an abortion. Now, there are issues with medical issues where you have to make a decision as a husband, as myself. If I had to make a decision between my wife and her having a baby, I understand like that's, there might be a decision to have there, but people just having abortions because they were having unprotected sex, I don't agree with that.
Got it. Well, I appreciate you being here, man. We'll cycle to the next person.
Thank you.
Thanks. First of all, Noodle, I see you in the guest request. I appreciate it. I'm sorry. I was about to let you up, and then let a woman up, and then he was like, I'm gonna say this and then drop off, and I just it seems to be a consistent theme that like the word inconvenience slash the word slash like the consistent like people just getting an abortion because they had like unprotected sex, like the like every single conversation you ever have about this, and I couldn't imagine what this feels like being a woman. It infuriates me as a man, and I don't even know the half of it, which is like believing that a decision like that comes so lightly, that like there's mass hordes of women just like going around and being like, you know what, this is sort of inconvenient, I'm just gonna go get an abortion, I'm just gonna walk into Planned Parenthood, as if like that's A, not an incredibly difficult thing to go through, but B, a really hard decision to make. It's a mistake, man. It's a mistake. Leave it up to there's just like no, again, I just can't believe, I don't know, I just can't believe that there's not more people out there who hold it's a very simple belief in my mind, which is like, I think valuable life starts at conception. I'm never in support of abortion. However, the government should not interfere. Exactly, Mads, exactly. The government should not interfere with healthcare decisions. It's not up to them. And when we see, I think it's better off, even if I disagree, to leave this issue to the professionals, the people who have studied this for decades, the people who we send to medical school, who go through residency, who go through all this shit. I think it's better off that they have the control and the ability to make the decisions that are best for people, because they know more about that and any given patient than I do. And I don't think the government should interfere in that process, because it has a whole bunch of other variables that lead to way worse health outcomes for everyone, make it harder for doctors to do jobs, which actually makes your health outcomes worse. I mean, like, again, I'm just coming at this from even if you don't give a fuck about any of what I just said. I mean, I grew up in Atlanta. Like, my health outcomes get worse because our top doctors leave the state because they're like, you know what? Fuck this. I don't want to work in a fucking hospital here where I'm doing fucking time. Like in Louisiana, they're doing time drills to see how fast they made the 2 abortion drugs, which I always mispronounce, which would be it's like mipristophone and yeah, exactly. The Maven, exactly. Mipristophone and mipristophone, they both start with an M. One of them is going to cause you to basically bleed, for lack of a better term, and then the other one's gonna stop. Actually, I'm not gonna. Anyways, they took those 2 pills. One of them that's used to stop bleeding, is often used for other things that aren't pregnancy. Louisiana made them Schedule 1 drugs. And so doctors in Louisiana started doing time drills because they were using one of those pills very frequently in trauma situations to like clot blood and stop bleeding. So they had to do time drills where they'd see how fast they could run because it's a Schedule 1 drug, so it has to be locked up in a specific place. Instead of it being at the bedside, they'd start in a room and they'd run as fast as they can. They'd time it to see how fast you can get there and unlock. So they understood what to do in that situation. Like, why in the living fuck would you want to be a doctor in Louisiana or a nurse in Louisiana or in a hospital in Louisiana? You're doing fucking time drills. You can't even help you are watching people die in certain scenarios and you can't help them because of the law. You can't do what you were trained to do for 10 plus years based on the knowledge you have because the government is telling you can't. / you're doing time drills. Why would you ever want to work in that scenario? You wouldn't. You'd leave. Shout out to the people who are still there because I couldn't imagine, but you leave. You say, I'm going to go to a different state or I'm not going to do this anymore. And so you know what happens? If you don't give a fuck about women, it makes my health outcome worse. Therefore, if you're a guy, good doctors leave the state. I mean, if that's like the last hope I have, my last fucking Hail Mary shot to see if you fucking care enough about this. Look at this. Look at Loxy right here, this fucking pit. Our local hospital closed after OBGYN all left. Fuck, I just accidentally exited. But I appreciate you. Yeah, exactly. Like, again, like no, oh, here we go. Thank you, Mads. Our maternity ward kept hospital and the maternity ward kept hospital from dead. Yeah, exactly. OBGYNs get up and they leave the state. They're done, dude. They're like, we're not providing service. I talked to a very brilliant, currently actually, she's now in the Georgia Senate, who had her, when she was having her 3rd child, her OBGYN who took care of her for the last 2 closed shop because of Georgia's abortion bill. She went while pregnant, and they were like, we don't operate anymore. So think about this. She was on her 3rd pregnancy with no doctor and didn't know where to go. Like, what are we talking about right now? We live in a society. Yo, David, that's a really insightful comment there, dude. Appreciate that, man. It's like the least insightful comment ever of all time. That's why I said that. You're full of it. Crazy, dude. Thanks everybody for being here. Also, where'd my YouTube live go? Like, didn't get pulled. Can I see this, please? Can I go to? Sweet Danger. I love that. I love that so much. Listen, that's what I was gonna say. 633 people in here. Now I'm back on my YouTube. I am not. Dark Sunray, appreciate you. Dick Bachman, thank you for being here. Yo, thank you. $5. Holy shit, you're so kind, Yard Queen. We would not exist without women. Give the women some credit and not just claiming your product. Yo, W's. Thank you so much for, first of all, beautifully said. Thanks for being a member over on YouTube Yard. I truly don't take it for granted ever. You're the best. And thank you, the comment, so true. And thank you so much for the $5. Really, it goes a really long way. I appreciate you so much. You guys are the best over on YouTube. Cord, thanks for being here. Dark Sunray, all the best. I'll say lastly, chat. Hold on, let me pull this up before I forget. What is it? I remember it. So listen to me. All right. I'm going to preface this. I thought you lived in Chicago. I do live in Chicago. I'm going to preface this lastly by saying, for the abortion conversation, you should follow all applicable. You should follow the laws in your state. I am not advocating for anybody to break the law. I find it fascinating after I read an article online that they still haven't figured out how to successfully regulate, abortion pills through mail, which is a lot of what we've seen for women in, right after Roe v. Wade, especially, it was overturned in places like Texas, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, etc. And so I find it fascinating when I was reading this random article on the internet that aidaccess.org, AidAccess, aidaccess.org, is basically a group of doctors in places like in Europe that are, real doctors, who, this organization has signed on doctors who, if you were to go to their website and request abortion pills, they would ship them to you. They would, a doctor overseas would write the prescription, send you the prescriptions, like the actual picture of the prescription and the doctor, and then send it to you via mail, and then give you all the instructions for how to use it. And I'm not advocating that anybody, break the laws in their states. I think people should follow the law. But again, I just find it very fascinating that that this is happening from a news perspective, aidaccess.org, and also that Aid Access, because it's a nonprofit, they will debate you. They will ask you questions about pricing. So like their pricing may start at, let's just say, $200, but if you say, I don't know that I can afford that, they will say, okay, how about $70? How about $50? They will work with you substantially on price because they're a nonprofit who is trying to make sure women have access to abortion care. So I find that fascinating from a news perspective, that you could go to aidaccess.org and order abortion pills if you needed them from Europe, signed by a real doctor. I was reading an article about it. I found it fascinating. I think that everybody should follow the laws that are in your state, and I'm not advocating for anyone to break the law. All right. It's getting late here. We'll do more, I guess. Should we do more? How many ABs have you sponsored, Chris? What? Jayford, thank you. Tess, thanks for being here. Gail, you're the best. Carrie, you're the best. Thanks to all my mods. Taylor, you're the best. You guys are all the best. Appreciate you. The U.S. debt is now over $40 trillion. The debt has doubled since 2017. This is true. The debt was $20 trillion in 2020. Increased 17 trillion. And now, for every dollar that the U.S. government gets, just over 18 cents of every dollar is spent on interest on the debt. Roughly 17 cents is spent on military. So, you're spending more right now and have been since mid-2024, really. We're spending more on interest on debt than we are on our military, which is pretty stunning if you really think about it. It's not good. It's actually really bad. And if anybody is interested enough, I think this gets like a little ridiculously boring. But it's the truth. It's like, the Fed's goal, hypothetically, is to lower interest rates to get rid of, to control inflation, right? And a lot of people talk about, in this expansion of executive authority, Donald Trump obviously has loyalists that have flooded the DOJ, the FBI, the CDC, and people have worried, understandably, about Fed independence. He has tried relentlessly to, fire people at the Fed and push Jerome Powell out of the Fed because he wants lower interest rates, because it'll, people will be way happier and it'll help him politically. And a lot of people have worried, like, oh my God, we can't get rid of Fed independence. That's really bad, which it is, because you don't want our monetary or fiscal policy being created, or specifically in this instance, you don't want interest rates being set for a political agenda. Every single time that's ever happened to any country in history, it ends in hyperinflation and disaster. Let the Fed make decisions based purely not off politics, but off inflation. But the reality now is there's actually two threats to Fed independence, which is Donald Trump and our huge amounts of debt. Because now the Fed, I suspect, and this dawned on me the other day, the Fed is not going to, over time, will struggle to raise interest rates if they know that the U.S. government can't afford the rate hikes. So if the U.S. government is now, paying, one of their top expenditures is becoming interest on debt. If you increase the interest rate to try to get a control on inflation, that goes for everybody. And the U.S. government could very quickly get into a very bad scenario if they are defaulting on debt and can't pay it. So the second threat to Fed independence is the debt. And they could end up keeping interest rates artificially low and not fighting inflation as hard as they could because the U.S. has such a mounting trouble with debt, which is fascinating and really problematic. Everybody doesn't like this guy, apparently. And I've talked to him before. I'm just trying to remember. I've talked to him several times.
Yeah. How you been, Chris?
Ben, what's up? What can I help you with?
Well, I think that, this perspective that all of a sudden now we are, spending all this money that's, is associated with this administration.
Don't think I said that. I don't think I said that.
Well, no. But like let's call a spade, Chris. We've had $2 trillion deficit spending year after year for the past 2 administrations, right?
Of course.
Both Democrat and Republican.
I understand
right?
that.
Now,
I never suggested, number one, I never suggested anything differently. And number two, I also just talk about it because you were stupid enough to believe that Donald Trump would solve this issue, which was hilarious.
No, I'm not.
I didn't vote for Joe Biden because I thought he was going to solve the problems with the deficit, and I still think that I think it's it's possible to continue to grow the debt. That's not really the main concern. My main concern is the interest on the debt. I just think it's I just talk about it because Trump promised a bunch of stuff around it, and then he increased the deficit, so it's bad.
So you are aware that we've had the largest drop in inflation in at least 40 years, right? The 1.6% recently, yeah?
Wait, I'm sorry. Re-articulate that?
Yeah, the largest drop in inflation, right?
Uh-huh.
I think it's 1.3 or 1.6. I'm not too 100% on the last number, but in 1 quarter.
Okay. So what's inflation now?
It was at 4.6. Now it's at 3.2 or 3.4, correct?
Okay. Don't think that there was a 1.5% drop on inflation. That was not my understanding. But regardless, inflation is obviously high. It's higher than when Trump took office.
Right, but I think that from your ideal perspective, right? The last administration, we got up to 9.1. So how dare you have such criticism for the current administration? Do you want credibility in this conversation?
I do, and I think actually no. I don't care about credibility. What I care about is being honest. And being honest, even if nobody wants to hear it, I will continue to scream it, is that politics is a lot more complicated than, politics is a lot more complicated than under this president inflation was 9% and under this president inflation is 4%. It's called cause and effect. And under Joe Biden, there is not a single shred of economic evidence to suggest that government was the main cause of inflation. It doesn't exist. All of the economic data we have would suggest that the main cause of inflation was supply and demand issues during that time. And yet now, when I look at the economic evidence, I have clear economic evidence from, for example, the Cato Institute, Goldman Sachs, that tariffs have caused at least some level of inflation. And I certainly have evidence to suggest that the war in Iran has increased oil prices, which has subsequently increased inflation, and Donald Trump started that war off his own narcissism. So I blame Donald Trump for increasing inflation, and I don't blame Joe Biden for his inflation problems. It's not about credibility; it's about the reality, the factual reality. And then the last thing I'd say is that I think it's important to harp on because fuckers like you voted because you were like, I'm getting killed by inflation. And then
never said that.
Okay, right. And now you're getting killed by inflation because of a war he promised not to start and tariffs that he promised wouldn't cause inflation. So now you can speak.
Are you going to stick with that take? I mean, I'm going to give you an off ramp if you want to take it.
Don't need an off ramp.
So when Joe Biden came in and thought that he was the second coming of FDR, and you brought in all of your, Green New Deal, excessive spending. Excuse me, Chris. I didn't interrupt you, my guy.
You're right.
Right?
You're actually you're so right. But this isn't a democracy. Passed more domestic legislation than any president in the last 70 years.
Chris.
He kind of was in some ways modern day.
You're not working in good faith right now, buddy, because I'm going to cook your ass.
Please go ahead. I'll let you speak.
Yeah, thanks. So yeah, he thought he was the second coming of FDR, right? And spend $2 trillion, right, with all of his most legislation ever passed, right? And guess what we got for it? We got one EV charger. We got 0 people connected to the internet. We got inefficient energy policies that made energy triple to the end consumer, the people, the citizens of this country, right? Because green energy does not produce what it is rated at. Full stop. They've been doing it for decades, and you guys went all in. So, what did we get for our money? What did we get? We got ineffective policies, ineffective procedures, ineffective energy policy, and guess what? We didn't get shit for it. And now you guys want to blame all of these concerns on the next administration like everyone's fucking stupid. You guys gaslight. And what did the Fed do when they saw unsustainable spending, adding over 500,000 employees to the federal government, right? They said, you know what? We're going to raise interest rates to offset the unsustainable spending, right? So what do you got to say about reality, Chris, instead of your utopia of fucking policies that, yeah, you got passed. I'll give you that. You got them passed, but they didn't work and they were not effective.
Sure. So to the last point you made, again, there's like not a single shred of economic data that you could pull up that would suggest that spending under the Biden administration was the main cause of inflation. It doesn't exist. It's ridiculous to suggest. If you would like to debunk me, I'll put you on the big screen. You can pull up literally any piece of economic data that suggests that.
Let's look at the
to your other points briefly. Well, hold on. I just addressed the last point you made. I want to address the other points that you made about the actual Biden policy itself. Like, obviously, I actually agree with you that when it comes to, for example, 1 point whatever trillion dollars in a bipartisan infrastructure bill, the largest in modern American history, that investments in that related to, for example, EV chargers were not as efficient as they could be. I certainly wouldn't sit up here and argue that government is efficient. I think Pete Buttigieg has done a great job talking about this. And I think just like in any other issue when it comes to the government, there were roadblocks. That obviously your two examples about the struggles with connecting rural people to the internet, which I think is important, and EV chargers are two of, many different things that those bills did, including, providing, in the infrastructure bill, providing a lot of states with their largest investment in infrastructure ever. I mean, my home state of Georgia got, I don't know if it's the most money ever, but I think it was a substantial amount of money, and spent that money, redoing Georgia 400 and 285, which has been a disaster forever. States like Philadelphia, when that bridge burned down and it would normally take 6 months, it took 3 days, partly because of funding from the federal government. There was obviously like other impressive things that came from that. I will also then follow that up with saying that one of the main problems that we have as a government and politically is that government is complicated and not efficient. And even if it was, when you pass very large pieces of legislation like over $1 trillion for infrastructure, that's not all going to drop on your lap at once. And so when you say, what did we get in 2 years, and then obviously Trump ripped everything up, I think that that's a struggle that I think politically is still hard to figure out. For if you do a bunch of shit for the American people, but they're not actually seeing it because these things take time, then how can you convince people to vote for you? I don't know the answer to that question, but I think that, like, objectively, you would obviously be in support of investing in these things and some of the successes that we saw from those. And the last thing I'll say is, like, Donald Trump, again, if Donald, he has this trifecta and much better lines in Congress than Biden ever did, who, again, passed more legislation than any president in the last 70 years, a lot of which was very impressive and good, objectively good, did good things that was, bipartisan across the line. If Trump cared about the border or connecting people to the internet from a rural perspective, or healthcare, any of those things, he would pass a bill tomorrow to fix it. But he's passed less legislation than any
What
president.
happened to the money, Chris?
Why has Donald Trump not passed a bill on any of these issues?
What
yet?
happened to the money,
Answer my
Chris?
question first.
Chris, you
Answer
didn't
my question first.
address anything. They spent $300 million and hooked up 0 customers. Where did the money go, Chris?
I don't know the specifics around the energy.
Okay, I'm going to tell you where the money went. The money went to the environmentalist and the environmental study group and the lobbyist and all the lawyers.
I don't
okay?
think you're particularly.
And here in like, hold on, Chris.
No,
Here,
I can't do this. I don't think you're particularly concerned with like. Again, I'm happy to walk through that and talk about the source, but the hypocrisy like slaps you in the face. I don't think you're particularly concerned about bureaucracy or money being, tax dollars being mismanaged when Donald Trump has added $2.2 billion to his net worth and 16 different defense contractors or defense companies have been invested in by the Trump sons and are getting federal contracts. Like we're seeing the most clear, blatant, outward corruption in this administration that we've ever seen. So to suggest that you care about $300 million being mismanaged to like fucking consultants on internet when I'm watching Don Jr. 6 days before the Trump administration gives a $1.5 billion contract to a defense company, investing 20% in it and getting super fucking rich. Like the hypocrisy slaps you in the face. I'm not gonna I just told you I don't think government is efficient.
You're pivoting, Chris.
I'm not pivoting. I'm telling.
Yes,
It's a little fucking. That hypocrisy slaps you in the face. Do you understand that?
Chris, let me just explain to you. When the energy department has over $100 billion to spend, and it is the most that their department has ever been allocated to grant contracts that was granted to companies that didn't even have a business plan, that barely had a fucking address.
I would love
and
to
you're
get a source
going
for
to
this.
tell
I would
me
love to get a source for
about
this. I would love to get a source for this.
The Biden administration gave so much money out the front door that the departments couldn't even figure out how to spend it.
I would love to.
And you're going to tell me, like Chris, I would have credibility if you just said, you know what, Hoodlum, at some level, I agree with you. But the fact that you can't makes you not credible, Chris.
I'm struggling with credibility. Mm-hmm.
You are.
I look. I'm happy to talk about whatever you just said, but I need some more. Do you have any sources around what you just said?
Yeah, you go to the hearings.
The hearings.
The hearings
my
in
bad.
Congress.
Yo, guys, how could I not think of that? The hearings, bro. Let me hit that up real quick.
Yeah, you can go to C-SPAN, you can go to YT, the hearings of the Energy Secretary, fully spelling this out, Chris.
Can I just?
There's investigation. You know what it's called? It's called fraud, Chris.
Right. So
and that was the nutshell of the previous administration. At least with Trump, we know we're getting missiles. We know we're getting arrows. We know we're getting boom booms.
Do you think that
what did we get for all this other shit, Chris?
Do you think that there's fraud in the Trump administration?
No, we have a whole fraud task team with an assistant IG that's working with the vice president to ensure that we're rooting it out. We shut down USAID, and it just so happens that the DNC is now broke. Holy shit. Kind of like the revolving door of NGOs that are giving donations back to the DNC is no.
Literally, I just want to point out, this is like a 7 IQ take, dude. This is what happens when you spend all your time on Twitter. It's like the most jumbled mess of nonsense. Can you just explain how? I would like to ask you a question in relation to all this amazing work the Trump administration has done around fraud. How has Donald Trump increased his net worth $2.2 billion?
His sons run the company. You might want to ask them.
Okay. So Donald Trump triples his net worth in a year and a half because his sons run the company. So I want to
hold on. Are you referring to the trust net worth or his net worth? Smart guy.
Well, his net worth.
Yeah. Put it back in the fucking sock, buddy. You never ran a business. You don't know anything about a trust structure, and you sit here on the internet running your fucking mouth.
Okay. So can I ask you? I think you can be pretty honest about this, like some of this reality. So like when we look at his financial disclosures, like a lot of his money, the majority was made in cryptocurrency deals. And a lot of that was, his own cryptocurrency that he launched, that he made a lot of money off the trading fees. So when we look at Donald Trump's, the Trump organization's profit from that was well over $200 million. The institutional losses, meaning like individuals losing money, totaled somewhere in the ballpark of over $500 million in losses. The Trump coin itself is down like 90% roughly year to date. And obviously he used the White House pretty heavily to promote said cryptocurrency coin. Also along with that, the royalties from, the Trump Organization partnering with World Liberty Financial, which is funded by the UAE, which is another substantial portion of the Trump Organization's incomes. So when the UAE, a country, is massively funding World Liberty Financial, which partners with the Trump Organization to, go launch different crypto projects, / the president is using the White House to promote his own cryptocurrency that is down, 95% year to date, while he has made a substantial amount of money doing it.
Substantiate that claim right now.
Substantiate what claim?
The claim you just made.
Okay, but
how do you know, right, the intentions of Donald J. Trump and this crypto? And by the way, this is not isolated to the Trump coin or any other crypto, because this has been a business model used by many other people in the crypto industry.
But the problem is, no.
Substantiate. Don't forget.
I'm going to substantiate it, but I just want to point out, the business. He's the president of the United States. That's the problem. I don't care about other people. I care about other.
Substantiate intentions, Chris.
So you want me to substantiate the intentions? Well, I actually think that it's possible, really quickly, for you to be upset by the fact that Donald Trump's cryptocurrency, that I just want to point out, over 1 million people invested in, and it's now down 90+%. So if you would have invested $10,000 at the peak when Donald Trump was actively promoting this on Inauguration Day, if you invested $10,000, it would be worth less than $500 right now. You lost everything while he made a substantial amount of wealth on the trading fees and promoting that it was the next big thing. So if we could just be honest for a second, without even getting into the intentions conversation, you would see how that would be pretty fucked up and frustrating and fraudulent for a president to do.
Yeah, but Chris, you're implying that he did something wrong, and for you to make that substantiated claim, you would have to show ill intent, that he intended to defraud these people out of the money.
I wouldn't, because the president of the United States, at a fundamental level, has the amount of conflict of interest in this administration is unfucking precedented. So
the problem that we have here, Chris, is you're talking about Donald Trump, the person. And the Trump coin and the crypto is a business. They are not the same entity.
So do you think was it a conflict of interest when the top 220 investors of Trump coin by dollar amount were invited to the White House to have dinner with Trump, and the top 25 investors by dollar amount were invited to dinner with Donald Trump?
Chris.
Wait, is that a conflict? Hold on. Is that a conflict of interest when Donald Trump is hosting these people at the White House who have invested in his cryptocurrency that his organization is making money off of the trading fees?
Okay, so let me explain.
It's a yes or no question. Is that a conflict of interest?
No, it's not.
Really?
I already answered the question.
We learned,
and I'm going to explain to you why, Chris. Every day on this app, people give you gifts, and you, along with your cronies, Dean, Parker, you do call outs for people that donate to you. Oh, thank you this, thank you that. You give them providence.
I'm not the president.
For giving you fucking money. My guy, there is no difference other than you're just a small fish, buddy.
Okay.
Get over it.
There is a difference when the president of the United States.
Bullshit.
Okay. The president of the United States is this guy literally 4 IQ. There's no way this is a real human being. The number one investor in that cryptocurrency by dollar amount at the time who was invited to the White House was a man named Justin Sun. Justin Sun is a Chinese national who at the time was facing a litigation against him for fraud in a 2023 lawsuit against him by the federal government. And named in that lawsuit was 8 other celebrities, including Jake Paul, et cetera, that he defrauded a bunch of people with cryptocurrency. He dumped $30 million into World Liberty Financial, which partners with the Trump Organization. He dumped another $30 million or some odd amount of money like that into Trump's coin personally, had dinner with him, and then his lawsuit against the SEC that was going to land him some very significant penalties and potentially jail time was paused with no updates to the case, just paused. And then finally got resolved last year where he got a punishment that seemed to a lot of prosecutors in the space as very light. So the difference is as a president of the United States, the conflict of interest when you are, when you have a cryptocurrency that people can invest in. They can get favors. We also know that there has been several investors that we still don't know the names of that have dumped hundreds of thousands of dollars who are foreign nationals from other countries. That is obviously a conflict of interest. And your IQ has to be below 60 to not be able to see that. The other great example of this would be like his stock trading, right? As I went over earlier in this live, Donald Trump himself made 86 total trades in his first year in office, both individual trades and securities combined. Okay, 86 total stock trades in 4 years. Barack Obama made like 13 total through 8 years, 0 individual stock trades. He traded like 13 securities at one point. Joe Biden, 0 individual stock trades through 4 years, and he traded securities 13 times. Donald Trump in 2025 had 22,000 individual stock trades. 22,000. He has been averaging well over, like roughly, I think, depending on what numbers you use from the first quarter of 26 or 25, between 40 and 60 stock trades a day, 7 stock trades an hour, 7 stock trades an hour. So Donald Trump, like there is ample evidence that he is using insider information to get super effing rich. And the last example I'll give is that, again, Don Jr. and Eric Trump have invested in 16 different companies that have gotten federal contracts from the government, including the last one, a small company startup in North Carolina that was given a $1.3 billion contract to mine tungsten in Kazakhstan. And it just so happens to be that 6 days before the deal was made public, Don Jr., Eric Trump, and Howard Lutnick's kids all finalized their investments in that company, which then 10x their net worth. So you have to be, I just think that like you're being purposely disingenuous on this issue.
Yeah, so let's hold that same standard, Chris. If I give you everything that you just said, okay, I'm just going to grant it to you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's all true, right?
Okay.
And all these people are horrible. I'm going to grant all that to you, okay?
Okay.
What then do we say about the gentleman that had the crypto that gave the Democrat DNC candidates millions upon millions of dollars and defrauded the investors?
Are you talking about Sam Bankman-Fried?
Yeah, absolutely am.
He donated like half of his income to Democrats and half of his income to Republicans.
That's bullshit. You know it.
It's not. I've looked at the filings.
So again,
do you have a source for what you just said?
I have
like you just make shit up. You just make shit up.
Hold on.
And also, again, Sam
Bankman. Chris, if you're going to condemn one, then you need to condemn the other.
I just gave you what would be the most fraudulent. I would just gave you what would be the most substantial corruption. Just 3 examples. Those 3 examples alone are the most substantial levels of corruption in any presidential administration ever, and it's not close. So that is not the same as fucking Sam Bankman-Fried donating to Democrats. What the fuck are you talking about?
Admit it, Chris. Condemn it.
Those aren't the same thing. They're completely different.
Your credibility is on the line, Chris.
No. I'm going to bed, bro. I guess my credibility is shot, dude. I gotta go to bed though. I actually told myself I was gonna get off at 1 a.m, and it's fucking 1:37, so I'm going to bed. That was fucking crazy, dude. Oh my goodness. Hoodlum, thanks for sort of being respectful. We'll talk again soon, I'm sure. But I've got to go to bed now. I love you guys so much. The support tonight was overwhelming. I appreciate everybody here on YouTube and on TikTok. You guys are the best. Hopefully, today 143 people. It's all over. My credibility is gone. It's gone. Cold. Thanks for being a kind person down there on YouTube. You're the best. We love you, Trey. I love you. You probably walked in better than anyone else. That's very kind, Coach. Man, we should go live more. You guys are too kind. Don't do this. That's dangerous. You can get my ego all messed up. Don't want me to become an egotistical asshole. It's just that I know I'm always right. Do you get it? It was a joke. It was like, there's a name for that type of joke. Because I said that, like, don't get my ego up, and then I was super egotistical and a douchebag. It's funny. What matters is that I thought the joke was funny. That's what matters at the end of the day. My favorite redhead. All right, dude. All right, it's time. It's bedtime. See, that's how I know it's bedtime. High hopes. Be careful. Phoebe, you're the best. Seabreeze says, poor kid. Right. And yet, Seabreeze, and yet. You don't have live access, but I just want you to know, and you won't believe this, but I will, and that's what matters. I could blindfold myself and take 6 tequila shots. Fuck that. I could blindfold myself and take 6 shots of Everclear, back to back to back to back to back, all of it, with a bottle of water, blindfold me, spin me around a few times, and we could debate publicly in front of thousands of people, and I would eviscerate you. I just want you to know that. And I'll go to sleep not thinking about that, because obviously it's the truth. And, you'll be over there like, this kid doesn't know anything. And you'll turn on Fox News tomorrow, and you'll watch all these people with so much fucking Botox just lie to your fucking face. And it'll just be, I'll be living my life, you'll be living yours. We live in a society. I'm going to bed. Good night's my favorite ginger. All right. Chat. Yo, somebody ban this guy. No, I'm kidding, Mateo. It's good to see you. It's good to see you, Mateo. That was funny. All right, I'm out of here. Ken's, you're literally amazing. Cheryl. Apparently I'm Ginger. I'm going to bed. John B., you do excellent work with Mockler Media. Cheers. John B., it's so good to see you. I hope life's been treating you well, and thank you for the kind words on Mockler Media. Jafer, you're the best. You are the best. Amanda, you're the best. Jagger Piper's mom, thank you so much for being who you are. I'm sorry you had a hard day at work, excuse me, but I hope the life cheered you up a bit. You guys are the best. Thanks to all my mods. I can't thank you guys enough. You guys are all the best. Ariacella, good to see you. Good to see you. Tess. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Gail, good to see you. Stay humble, best part about you. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll stay humble. I just know fucking everything. I'm just kidding. That was a joke. Do you get it? Because I will actually be humble. As my dad says, Chris, don't let it go to your head. I love my father. He's the best. Ethan, thanks so much for $7.77. Opera singer here. It's Ethan the opera singer. I remember this. You're so kind. Thank you for $7.77. Truly goes a long way. Don't let how much other people do diminish what you have contributed to the cause. Imposter syndrome is a toxic place to be in. I know. And in my career field, I understand what you feel sometimes. Keep up the good work. Ethan, can we get 1,000,000 W's for Ethan in the chat? I always love Ethan. Opera singer / I want to say something else that I think I know about Ethan, but then I'm like, am I misremembering here? Regardless, Ethan, I love you. You're the best. That actually genuinely, drag queen. Yes, drag queen. I was going to say that, but then I was like, that's not my play. I don't want to, I remember. Okay, thank you. W's to Ethan. You are the best. Actually, I needed to hear that tonight. That actually genuinely helps me out. Man, you're so kind. And thanks for $7.77. Wow. $7.77. I never take it for granted ever. I hope you know that. And also, really quick, oh my goodness, you guys are so fucking kind to me. Bren, thank you so much for $5. So good to see you. So many W's in the chat for Bren and Ethan. Again, thank you so much. Bren, horns up. Mod, who's been so supportive of me for so long. Bren, Jack Park's mom, Carrie. So many amazing people. Chris, I've missed you. I fell asleep early last night, so I missed you. You made my night tonight going live. Well, thanks. Thanks for being here. Guess what? Dylan auditioned yesterday and made the Longhorn marching band. Hook 'em. Yo, that is so sick. W's for Bren and W's for Dylan. That's super exciting. Tell Dylan if you want to. I don't know if you should tell him I said this. Maybe that's like weird. But tell him I said congrats. That's sick. And hopefully I'll see him when I'm watching the Longhorns on a Saturday afternoon. I'll see him in that's actually sick. That is so sick. Congrats. That's really cool. Thank you so much for $5, Brent. You're incredible. Hope all is well in your world. Hope the family's good. Aaron, thank you so much for $20. You are so kind. That is unbelievable. Again, I never take this for granted. There's never any pressure to donate to me monetarily. Excuse me. The fact that people would means the world to me. I just hope everybody knows that. Really. I have a raging caffeine addiction, so $20 means a lot, seriously. Chris, great to see you on live. I love hearing your perspectives. Keep cooking MAGA. Well, Aaron, thank you. Great to see you. $20 is so kind. Just such kind words, man. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you know I don't take it for granted. And thanks for being here. Thanks for caring about my perspective. It means a lot. Ethan, thanks again for the kind words. I really appreciate you. And Krista, to the relentless young leaders such as Chris, we need and love you. Keep it up. Also, shout out ALG, who thinks you're great and thanks you. Chris is the GOAT. I don't care what anybody says. W's for Chris, aka Dark Sunray. What a great individual. You're literally amazing. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you so much. From the bottom of my heart. You're literally incredible. Krista, Ethan, Jack, I'm sorry, Bren, everybody, just for being so supportive. Jack Power's mom is the best. We love you. Also, Yard, thanks for becoming part of the Maori Squad over on YouTube. You're literally the best. Cold, $2 super chat on YouTube. Oh my goodness. And Damon, $3 super chat. You guys are so kind. I never take that for granted. Cold, he leads you to a better path. Remember who you are. Yo, Cole, you're the best. Nice to catch you live subscribed. You crushed that MAGA hat. Yo, Yard, thank you. Thanks for being over on YouTube. I appreciate you guys. You can go subscribe to my YouTube. Kaylin, I love you. Man, you guys are so fucking kind. Holy smokes. Lastly, Bell, I believe, last name. Thank you so much for the $5. I never take it for granted. You're literally incredible. I can't say it enough. When do you go live usually? Like what time zone? I'm in Central Time Zone, even though Eastern is superior because I lived in Atlanta. But now I'm in Chicago. I Central Time Zone, and I'm going to be super honest. People who've caught my lives, they've been very late. Yesterday, I don't think started till 12:30. Today started a lot earlier, at like 11. I think I should get back into lives and just like create a schedule around this. But I'll just say that right now, I've been trying to go live more consistently. Like I'll probably be, I don't know that I'll be live tomorrow, but we'll definitely be live this weekend. And it's usually late. But if I have more press to go live, I'll go live more. I mean, people seem to like it. So thank you guys so much for the kind words. Carrie, you're the best. Jay, for Bren. You guys are all so insanely kind. Gaming. Dude, I was literally thinking about that today, Mads. I've been playing so many video games. Soon. I promise. Soon. Soon. I was talking to Harry about that I should go live more and play games because I just play them so often. And don't worry, I'm still bugging HelloFresh. Don't worry. We're going to do some cooking with Chris, sponsored by HelloFresh, I hope. There's also some big fun things in the works. I can't say, but I will be in a location at a time. I'm going to be super broad here because that's just what's going to have to happen for now. I'm going to be in a location at a time at an event. I'm the debater, and there's going to be like 20 conservatives screaming at me all at once. I'm going to shred them, and it's going to be amazing. And we got some other cool stuff coming. All right, I'm going to bed. I got to go to bed. I love you guys so much. You're the best. Sleep well, everybody. Have a great night. And from the bottom of my heart, it's not Jubilee. But from the bottom of my heart, Rebecca, thank you. That's really kind. That's so nice. From the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much to everybody in here, man. You guys are so fucking kind to me. It's literally insane. It's so insane. All right. Be safe, everybody. Good night. Sleep well. Have a great night. Happy Thursday. It is Thursday. Have a good day. Keep your head up. I'm proud of you. You're doing good work. And we'll talk soon. Goodbye, everybody on YouTube. You can rewatch any of these streams, by the way, over on my YouTube channel.